Rock is going to educate your ignorant asses.
Let's go.
Apply that stupid logic to any sport. The 49ers just lost against the Kansas City Chiefs. What did they do? What did they do? Did the 49ers say, whoa, wait a minute. What about our story? We got to finish our story. No. They took their lunch like men. They stood up, they dusted themselves off, and they moved on like men. That's what they do.
Okay.
Now everybody in this arena, in this city, and in this entire state, you should understand this. It's personal. Think about it for a second. Michael Jordan came in here and he crushed the dreams of the Utah Jazz. He ended, you boo.
The Rock is going in on Utah.
He ended the Utah Dream story. What did the Utah Jazz do? They took their beating like men and they moved on. And they worked their asses off to get right back to the top. That's what they did. That's not how the real world works. The real world doesn't work like that. You don't get a shot at another story just because you want it. That's not how it works.
True facts.
And you don't understand that. You don't understand that because you're spoiled, entitled, little crybaby bitches.
Whoa. Look at Roman.
Cody Rhodes, make one thing perfectly clear. The Rock is going to do everything in his power to make sure that you walk out of WrestleMania what you are, which is a loser. Everything in his power to make sure that happens. Cody, your story is just ending. Our story is just beginning. The Bloodline, the most powerful, dominant duo in sports and entertainment, and of course in the WWE. If you smell no. Sing along with The Rock is over. You lost that privilege. Sit there and shut your mouth and enjoy the ride that The Rock is taking you on. If you smell what the Bloodline is cooking.
Whoa. This shit different. This is different. My thoughts. Yo, I know Jay wishing he never left. Yo, this is the hottest the Bloodline's ever been. I thought Sami Zayn was the peak of the Bloodline. I said it gets no better than this. But then they come right back and they got this. Hill Rock is gold. It's gold. My man was on the crowd like he was, yo. It wasn't just gas. It wasn't just gas. It wasn't just gas. It wasn't just gas. This show really was it. Oh, I just want to know what's going to happen next. What's Cody Rhodes? Like, what's going to happen before WrestleMania? Is Cody Rhodes even going to make the WrestleMania? The Rock might take him out at Elimination Chamber. You never know. You never know. It's getting crazy. This is going to be one of the great 40 years. Okay? 40 years, and they making it 40 years. They making this the best WrestleMania of all time, man. Hill Rock? Like I said earlier in the video, if John Cena went heel, and it's not even about John Cena, but the heel turn is can be the most iconic thing a wrestler could do. It can make or break a career, or it can bring epic moments like this. All my older wrestling fans that watch these videos, remember when Hulk Hogan? Yeah. When he went from the red and yellow to the black and white? Yeah. Oh my God. It was the most talked about thing in all the sports. And now The Rock doing it in 2024 and it's just as great. Yo. I don't even know what I just witnessed. Yo, this is why I love wrestling. For moments like this. I ain't watched nothing else on SmackDown. I ain't gonna hold you. I can't relate to them. They don't move me like this. The Rock moved me as a fan in a way to where I anticipate every single thing he do, from the entrance to the wrestling to the promos, everything. These other dudes, they just play in the background. They just play in the background. Why they here? The bloodline story is crazy. Cody Rhodes. I just want Cody Rhodes to match their energy. You gotta match this energy, man. This is wild. This is wild, isn't it? I can't even talk. But time is something y'all can never have back. But y'all spend y'all time with me, so I appreciate y'all for that. Subscribe to Elder Griggs because...
Oh, here's the record you broke. You broke the all-time record for the largest gathering of trailer park trash The Rock has ever seen.
Oh man! Got him. We fucking got him. Way too. This is what I was waiting for. This is what I was waiting for. My brothers and sisters. I was waiting for this Friday SmackDown because I knew Rock and Roman was going to be on it. And I was so interested after seeing that WrestleMania kickoff. What they was going to do is here now. I've heard people are going crazy about, you know, what The Rock said, but I was trying to avoid any like screenshots or clips I have not seen or like heard nothing he said. People have been saying that they've been enjoying the wrestling content. I've kind of been enjoying the wrestling content. I'm not gonna like this. This is a rare occasion. Like once this story is over, most likely me reacting to wrestling content is over too. I'm just really invested into this story because The Rock is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. I like the whole Roman gimmick that's going on and Cody trying to finish his story. This is cinema right now, so I gotta react to this. So let's hop straight into it. Let's see what I missed out.
Salt Lake City! Acknowledge me. Acknowledge me.
Acknowledge me.
Come on now. Come on now, my tribal chief.
Can I be honest with all of you? I want to be honest with you.
Be honest, brother. Talk to him.
The people of Utah, well, you're idiots. I did not say individually. I meant when we get you all together like this, you're pretty dumb. Tonight's a big night. I don't want you to ruin this. Some people call it...
Hey, you remember when they was doing this to me during my last reaction? Please don't do this. Please don't.
Because when my cousin comes out here, y'all might go dumb and just catchphrase this. Oh, he's so funny. But this is the thing. Everything we say has meaning, it has purpose, it is information that you need to understand. Tonight's history. Tonight is the greatest night ever in WWE.
Wayne Miles Cody. Hey, I've seen suckers call me Cody hater. Cody hater. I don't hate Cody. I don't. I want him to finish his story. he just ain't. He's just not. He just. Cody lacks something that I like in Roman, that I like in Rock, that I like in like other wrestlers. That Cody just. Let's keep watching.
Tonight is the first night that we can say The Rock is a member of the bloodline. Of the bloodline.
Yo, he should have came out with a different entrance song. What is he wearing? A freaking black and gold. Hey, it is kind of a vest though. Ooh. With the shades on too. Woo. Hey, Rock is iced out. He got the ice. Look at him, bro.
You gonna make me act up. You gonna make me do something I'm gonna regret.
I'm going gay for Rock. But look at him, bro. If this ain't, again, I've been predicting this. Like, as soon as people started to turn on The Rock when it seemed like Cody was getting pushed out, I was like, bro, this would be an amazing chance to bring back heel Rock. And I remember people were saying, they ain't gonna do that, they ain't gonna do that. Sucker, they did it. They did it. And man, look at that shot. Let's keep watching. Bloodline related song. Yo, they better change this entrance. Yo, look at the walk down of the aisle. That like same kind of arrogant, cocky walk he had in his 2003 gimmick. Woo! Now this is a bloodline member.
Now before The Rock drops some gospel on you, The Rock has got some good news to share. Something that's gonna make you happy, something that you can own. Tonight, it is official. You all, right now, live on Fox, have broken an all-time indoor attendance record. Not only
It's for dermatologist developed Lubriderm
for the city of Salt Lake, but for the entire state of Utah, congratulations.
It's Utah, I can feel it.
Well, here's the record you broke. You broke the all-time record for the largest gathering of trailer park trash The Rock has ever seen.
Oh man, heel Rock. This is something that I feel like a lot of these new age wrestling fans are not even accustomed to seeing. Heel Rock was a whole. Now I want to see how heel he actually goes. Are they going to like actually let this man like let loose and be himself, or is it still kind of like a watered down version?
You broke the all-time record for the largest gathering of trailer park trash The Rock has ever seen. Now, if you didn't like that,
Yeah, I think The Rock
you're gonna
enjoys
love
this too.
this. Finally. Oh, you want to boo that, huh? Are you sure you want to boo The Rock? Finally! Your life has meaning. Finally, you and your 50 wives will have a story. And you know what I'm talking about.
He said you and your 50 wives.
Has meaning. Finally, you and your 50 wives will have a story to tell. And you know what I'm talking about. You'll have a story to tell your 600 inbred grandchildren. What it's like to look at greatness in the flesh, because finally The Rock has come back to Salt Lake City.
They still singing along with him.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Pause right now. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now. If they let this man let loose, bro, this man will probably receive more cheers as a heel than as a face, because if he's anything like the 2003 version, he was heel, but he was so entertaining and so charismatic that the crowd literally couldn't boo him, and they eventually started like cheering cheering him and still singing along with his catchphrases. If that's how this goes, oh, this junk is going to be so entertaining. You all can see that The Rock enjoys it. It looks like the crowd is enjoying it and laughing. Like, this is, I feel like, the best thing that they could have done with The Rock, with him now being in the picture to keep things fresh. And it makes sense because he's with Roman, so. Cody again?
You all have bought a side out of The Rock that you haven't seen in years. But you see, this side of The Rock has always been in here. Always. You shut your mouth, fatty. The Rock will come out there and slap the herpes off your lips. It's a side that you haven't seen The Rock, but it's been in here all along. And you know why you're seeing it tonight? Because it's The Rock and Roman Reigns. The biggest WrestleMania main event in the history of WrestleMania. You had it in your hands and you let it go. You flushed it down the toilet. The same toilet you sat your fat asses on, and you sat there and tweeted, "We love Cody! We love Cody! Cody, you gotta finish your story! You gotta finish your story!" You're laughing now and you're ruined because you know it's true. Let The Rock.
So, what do you guys want to talk about?
Shut the fuck, shut!
I love it, bro. I love it, bro. I'm sorry, bro. Rock is so much more better as a heel than a face. He's so much better. So much more entertaining. I just feel like certain wrestlers like just shine more when they're a heel than a face. I feel like the only like big wrestler that, even though I thought he was freaking hilarious as a heel, I feel like the only like big name wrestler that was kind of better, even when he was a face, it was kind of like like he was a face, but he was still like the bad guy because he just wouldn't like listen to what no one says and wouldn't follow the rules. Is Stone Cold Steve Austin. What is the only wrestler I could at least think off of the top of my head? It's like the only like big name wrestler that the fans kind of embraced more as a face than a heel. Like it's weird, but Rock is also one of those wrestlers that can like thrive in both, but I feel like he really shines more as a heel, and like you're seeing it right now. This stuff is great.
Let The Rock ask you a question. What is Cody's story? What is the story? Let The Rock make it clear. My cousin Roman Reigns, the Universal Champion, beat Cody's ass last year at WrestleMania. He beat him. Cody lost the match, and now all of a sudden, Cody wants a rematch? That's his story? That's not how it works. I mean, think about it. You think about it right now. Think about how stupid that logic is. Think if you can apply that to sports. Hold on a second. I know you inbreds want to chant what, but sit there and shut your mouth and listen to The Rock. Because this is important. And The Rock is going to educate your ignorant asses. Apply that stupid logic to any sport. The 49ers just lost against the Kansas City Chiefs. What did they do? What did they do? Did the 49ers say, whoa, wait a minute. What about our story? We got to finish our story. No. They took their lunch like men. They stood up, they dusted themselves off, and they moved on like men. That's what they do. Now everybody in this arena, in this city, and in this entire state, you should understand this. It's personal. Think about it for a second. Michael Jordan came in here and he crushed the dreams of the Utah Jazz. He ended. You boo because it's the truth. He ended the Utah Dream story. What did the Utah Jazz do? They took the beating like men and they moved on. And they worked their asses off to get right back to the top. That's what they did. That's not how the real world works. The real world doesn't work like that. You don't get a shot at another story just because you want it. That's not how it works. And you don't understand that. You don't understand that because you're spoiled, entitled, little crybaby bitches.
Hey, you see Jimmy in the back, yo, Jimmy. Jimmy is looking like he's never seen this side of the rock neither. But I'm telling you, bro, I feel like this is such a good move to put The Rock in like this position, especially with like all of the flack he's been catching in like real life. And how people are like tired of like The Rock and the whole thing that went down with him and like Oprah and stuff like that. I feel like this is a side that, you know, can kind of allow The Rock to unleash some of like the stuff that he's, I guess, not allowed to say because of who he is and the image he's trying to like upkeep. This is great.
Cody Rhodes, make one thing perfectly clear. The Rock is going to do everything in his power to make sure that you walk out of WrestleMania what you are, which is a loser. Everything in his power to make sure that happens. Cody, your story is just ending.
I want to pause this real quick. Could you imagine if at this WrestleMania, Cody Rhodes don't win? Could you imagine if after all this of him finishing the story, so what do you want to talk about? Could you imagine after this he loses to Roman again with the help of The Rock? It's actually making me lick my lips. It actually sounds pretty gosh darn good. I'm telling you, bro, I said, y'all just gonna start listening to me just because I don't really talk about wrestling on this channel does not mean does not mean that I don't have a lot of knowledge when it comes to this stuff. I used to watch this stuff hardcore. Some people don't like Cody Rhodes the way they think they like Cody Rhodes. I'm telling you, if Cody Rhodes wins and his story is finished and the whole thing of him, you know, being the underdog, trying to take the title away from Roman, once that is over, in a few months, that man gonna start getting booed just like he was getting booed in AEW with the same gimmick. Unless they like switch it up for Cody. Because this current Cody, his gimmick that he is in today only works because he is the underdog and because he's going after Roman. Once that is over, you're not that guy. Hit my damn clip. You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
Cody, your story is just ending. Our story is just beginning. The Bloodline, the most powerful, dominant duo in sports and entertainment, and of course in the WWE. If you're some man! No. Salt Lake City, sing along with The Rock is over. You lost that privilege. Sit there and shut your mouth and enjoy.
Yes, that's what he used to say when he was in the 03 gimmick. Sing along with The Rock. It's over. Oh, yeah.
No. Salt Lake City, sing along with The Rock is over. You lost that privilege. Sit there and shut your mouth and enjoy the ride that The Rock is taking you on. If you're some man! What the Bloodline is cooking.
Hey, sucker, look at that faction.
What could that be? Perhaps we should go look.
These suckers got me raising my damn finger. Look at that faction, bro. The Bloodline with The Rock in it? Ooh, that was incredible. That was incredible. They did it. They actually did it. They did what made sense. There was no other way that you could do this and not turn The Rock heel without making it still interesting. There was no other way. If you forced people to now have The Rock in the picture and he was still trying to be face, he was gonna get booed regardless. Now that they actually embrace this, not only does it make the Bloodline more stronger, this story that much more interesting and entertaining, but now this will make people want to see Cody win that much more. It makes complete sense to do this. And again, I don't know how engaged Rock is going to be in like this story, because WrestleMania is in April. I don't know, like, if he's gonna like show up like like once a week, or if like he shows up every now and again. But if he actually is like in this story now until and you know what I also feel like they should do, Roman should appear on more shows, because that's been one of the main gripes for like Roman as of late, is he just like appears like like once a month or like once every 3 months, whatever. If you want this story to really be good, and they got something special here, if you actually want this story and this build up to WrestleMania to be that much more special, have Roman appear more frequently, have more segments with him and The Rock and Cody, have like face like bro, this junk could be, if done correctly. I thought the whole Bloodline thing and Roman's run was getting stale at like one point. Like after, the whole Sami Zayn thing happened, then once Jay left and they were still carrying on with the Bloodline and stuff like that, I'm like, all right, where is this going? Now that this has new breath in it with The Rock, and you don't know how much, because Rock is so busy, you don't know how long he can stay around. While he's here, you gotta capitalize and make this jump even that much more special. So, this is great. This is great. I don't know how you Cody fans feel about this, but this is incredible. This is great. The Rock is back as a freaking heel. I didn't see this one. I did not see this junk coming, but I am glad that it's here, man. What did y'all think about that segment, bro? What did y'all think about it? Again, I hope the build up for this is good. Like, they need to have like segments with The Rock and Cody. Especially if like The Rock is gonna like, I'm telling you, bro, if at WrestleMania The Rock interferes and he's the reason that Cody loses to Roman, that's gonna add so much fuel to the fire. These Cody Rhodes crybabies are gonna go crazy. And be like, Roman's still the hell. I'm done with wrestling, knowing damn well you're still going to watch. They got a lot of different ways to tackle this storyline now. A lot of different ways, and if done correctly, you can still do it and have Cody win out of the end. But hey, bro, I ain't got nothing. I ain't got nothing else to say. I predicted this the moment they started booing The Rock. The moment. Hey, bro. What y'all thought about this segment? How do you want this to play out? Let me ask you also an honest question. Do you want Cody Rhodes to win at this year's WrestleMania? Not just for the sake of him finishing the story, but for the sake of, you know, once this whole bloodline story and Roman's reign is over with, let's be honest, this is the best story that's been going on in wrestling. Without this, I mean, not saying that like there's nothing else good that's going on, you know, but without this whole thing that's been going on, I probably wouldn't even be watching. I'm gonna be honest. I don't even be watching Smack. Hell, I barely watched wrestling today. This is essentially what kind of got me back into wrestling. This whole entire run with Roman. Once this junk is over with, unless you create another 2-year plus storyline of something that's as interesting as this, where do you go from here after this junk is over? That's why I feel like they haven't ended this junk yet, because they know, to build up a storyline that's like this, that takes like months, years of work. So they're trying to stretch this junk for as long as they possibly can, And I'm just saying, do you really just want it to end with Cody finishing the story and then Roman Reigns? Does he stick around, or does he take a few months off? Does he retire and go to Hollywood? Like, I don't know. There's a lot of questions to ask about this. But yeah, how do y'all want this to end up? What do you want to happen at WrestleMania? Y'all leave y'all thoughts and comments down in the comment section below. What did y'all think about this segment? Leave that down in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. My man Dwayne Johnson, you killed it. You killed it. I'm sure he's having so much fun doing this because he hasn't done this in a long time. And yeah, so my next video, my brothers and sisters, I guess that was my next one, right?
Okay, I guess. Here. Good YouTube and welcome back.
Of the bloodline.
Crazy to think. But it gets crazier, man. Now listen. The Rock still gets a hell of a reaction. The guy's a legend, future Hall of Famer. But check this man out. Check the drip. Check the drip. I love
Well, here's the record you broke. You broke the all-time record for the largest gathering of trailer park trash.
You gotta love it, man. You gotta love it, man.
Now, if you didn't like that, you're gonna love this. Finally. Oh, you want to boo that, huh? Are you sure you want to boo The Rock?
Listen, The Rock knows how to get a reaction, man. You sure you want to boo The Rock? And now it's going to make the crowd boo even louder, man. The Rock is a master. A master.
Finally! Your life has meaning. Finally, you and your 50 wives will have a story to tell. And you know what I'm talking about? You'll have a story to tell your 600 inbred grandchildren one day. And that is what it's like to look at greatness in the flesh, because finally, The Rock has come back to Salt Lake City.
Come on, man. All we need is the guitar. All we need is the guitar at this point. And the crowd is still chanting. The crowd is chanting his name. But this goes to show, man, listen, The Rock is the bad guy. You know, a lot of the fans, now they want Cody Rhodes, and no doubt Cody is, you know, that's a video for another day. But right now, in this situation, The Rock is made to be the biggest heel right now. But because this is such a nostalgic act, I feel like a lot of fans are appreciating this, man. I remember these promos from when I was a kid, and you know, The Rock would just come out talking crazy. So it's something I definitely appreciate, man. So you gotta cheer The Rock at this point. In this segment,
you all have bought a side out of The Rock that you haven't seen in years. But you see, this side of The Rock has always been in here. Always. You shut your mouth, Batty. The Rock will come out there and slap the herpes off your lips.
Yo.
It's a side that you haven't seen The Rock, but it's been in here all along. And you know why you're seeing it tonight? Because it's The Rock and Roman Reigns. The biggest WrestleMania main event in the history of WrestleMania. You had it in your hands and you let it go.
He cooking. He's spitting facts.
You flushed it down the toilet. The same toilet you sat your fat asses on, and you sat there and tweeted, "We want Cody, we want Cody. Cody's gotta finish his story. He's gotta finish his story."
Same toilet you sat on and ate the chicken nuggets, man. And I wanted to ask y'all, so, okay, The Rock and Roman couldn't happen this year. It makes me wonder, what if they tried to do this last year at WrestleMania Hollywood? Do y'all feel like it would have had the same reaction from the WWE Universe? You think fans would have turned on that as well? Because I feel like, you know, Cody Rhodes' road to WrestleMania, I mean, last year wasn't as, I mean, I'd say it was pretty impactful. But do y'all feel like if The Rock was available for last year Mania and they tried to do this match, that they would have to change it? And then maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I honestly, I'm curious to know.
You're laughing now and you're booing because you know it's true. Let The Rock ask you a question. Let The Rock ask you a question. What is Cody's story? What is the story? Let The Rock make it clear. My cousin Roman Reigns, the Universal Champion, beat Cody's ass last year at WrestleMania. He beat him. Cody lost the match, and now all of a sudden, Cody wants a rematch? That's his story? That's not how it works. I mean, think about it. You think about it right now. Think about how stupid that logic is. Think if you can apply that to sports. Hold on a second. I know you inbreds want to chant what, but sit there and shut your mouth and listen to The Rock. Because this is important. And The Rock is going to educate your ignorant asses. Apply that stupid logic to any sport. The 49ers just lost against the Kansas City Chiefs. What did they do? What did they do? Did the 49ers say, whoa, wait a minute. What about our story? We got to finish our story. No. They took their lunch like men. They stood up, they dusted themselves off, and they moved on like men.
And technically, that's what Cody Rhodes did. He lost to Roman at WrestleMania. He moved on from it. He started feuds with Brock. You know, he won the tag titles. He did this. He did that. You know what I mean? Like Cody Rhodes, he dusted himself off, and he earned another title match. He won the Royal Rumble. So I mean, this point might be the most invalid point of The Rock's promo, but I get the idea of where he's trying to go with it.
That's what they do. Now everybody in this arena, in this city, and in this entire state, you should understand this. It's personal. Think about it for a second. Michael Jordan came in here and he crushed the dreams of the Utah Jazz. He ended, you boo, because it's the truth. He ended the Utah Dream story. What did the Utah Jazz do? They took the beating like men and they moved on and they worked their asses off to get right back to the top. That's what they did. That's not how the real world works. The real world doesn't work like that. You don't get a shot at another story just because you want it. That's not how it works.
It's kind of even contradictory, you know. The promo is very, very contradictory because, you know, The Rock, you know, bored. The Rock wanted the match with Roman. It's like, you just don't get a WWE Championship match in the main event of WrestleMania just because you want it, Rock. Cody could say that too in his promo. Maybe he might. I don't know.
You don't understand that. You don't understand that because you're spoiled, entitled, little crybaby bitches.
The Rock still got it on the mic, boy.
Cody Rhodes, make one thing perfectly clear. The Rock is going to do everything in his power to make sure that you walk out of WrestleMania what you are, which is a loser. Everything in his power to make sure that happens. Cody, your story is just ending. Our story is just beginning. The Bloodline, the most powerful, dominant duo in sports and entertainment, and of course in the WWE. If you're some man! No. Salt Lake City, sing along with The Rock is over. You lost that privilege. Sit there and shut your mouth and enjoy the ride that The Rock is taking you on. If you're some man! What the Bloodline is cooking.
And look at this image right here. Bro, look at this freaking image right here. Are you kidding me? Could you imagine if somebody put you in like if you were in 2017, right? If this is the time when they're shoving Roman down everybody's throats, right? Pause. It sounds kind of crazy. And if you would have showed me, hey, 2024, The Rock is going to be in the ring with one of the Usos. And guess what? The Usos got a little brother, Solo Sikoa. Roman Reigns is going to be managed by Paul Heyman. He got a gold championship, and The Rock is right there with them. And this looks like something out of a freaking WWE 2K universe mode. Not even going to lie. This is a my career moment right here. This looks incredible. This is money right here. I love the direction that this is going in, man. Yes, we had Roman versus The Rock, and no, we're not getting it anymore at this point in time. But are we on to something better than Roman versus The Rock? Now, I said this. A lot of people gave me a lot of BS for it in the comments, but it's looking like it's happening. WrestleMania Night 1. The Rock and Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes in the tag team match, the main event night 1. Seth, of course, defends the World Heavyweight Championship night 2. Roman versus Cody night 2. Now, a lot of people gave me, they gave me hell for that. But it's the only thing that really makes logical sense. I would love to see it. It's an unpredictable tag team match. And I'm all for it. Like I said, that's the only thing that has to happen. And I'm glad that it's actually, coming to fruition to happen. So. Either way, man, this is the picture that you want to frame. Like, this is crazy right here. This is crazy, man. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts and opinions on this. The Rock joins the bloodline on SmackDown, man. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button for me for more wrestling related content. And until the next video, I'll see y'all there. Thank you for watching. And thank you for reacting.
Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days and welcome to this opinions video for SmackDown. So much to go through. We've had over 50 responses, so let's get into them. Jaden said SmackDown felt very quick tonight. I like the fact they are pushing Cross's new faction, and I feel like it's a whole swerve and that The Rock will betray Roman and help Cody at WrestleMania 40. I also feel like the graphic of the women's chamber match was correct after tonight. So there's quite a few bits to unpack there. The one that I'm going to dial in on is The Rock betraying Roman. Now, I've just got a thought on this. Obviously, we know about the pointing. You lot spoke about that on the live stream. Obviously, it's been looked into, and he does point in Roman's direction when he says, I'm going to make sure that you lose at WrestleMania. So absolutely, that has got people talking. Obviously, as well, throwing up the 2s instead of the 1s, that's also got people talking. The fact that he says duo when he's referring to the bloodline, that's also got people talking. I think there's going to be quite a bit of this. I think there's going to be quite a bit of these little Easter eggs, these little subtle things that will get people talking. And it really wouldn't surprise me if we get to WrestleMania with everyone convinced that he's going to turn on Roman, only for him to not. Right? Because I think that The Rock could be playing with us as well. It is worth bearing that in mind, that The Rock could absolutely be playing with us and planting these things in there to make us think, oh, I see what you're doing, I see where this is going, only for him to then basically go, what, you thought I was going to turn on Roman? Like, are you really that stupid? You thought I would turn on my family? Blah, 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 blah. I think the turn would happen, but maybe it happens later than what we think, right? So I'm not going to get too carried away with this stuff. I think it's good. I think it's interesting. I think it starts a conversation. I think he absolutely could turn on Roman. I think the Easter eggs are very interesting. And that's kind of something they've learned, I think, from Bray, White Rabbit, you know, all these subtle little things. And Triple H did say we definitely will do that again, those Easter eggs, because White Rabbit was so well received. And obviously, you know, there was Easter eggs and little hidden things before White Rabbit. But I think White Rabbit was a big moment. I think it showed just where this generation are with like that sort of looking at little hints and looking for clues. And you know, Roman did say pay attention. Everything we do for a reason. Everything we do has got meaning. He even said that right at the start of his promo before The Rock even came out. So yeah, I think it's really interesting. Everyone seems to be convinced now, though, because of these things, that turn is going to happen. It absolutely could. I'm not saying it won't, like 100%, but I'm just saying don't get too far down the road of thinking it's a done deal, because equally they could just turn around and go, what, you thought I was going to turn? And they could go down that path as well. So yeah, interesting, really, really fun stuff coming out of that segment. Cameron said Albert and Isla should lean more into their witch or spooky gimmick, kind of like Papa Shango. I think it would be cool if they had smoke coming out of the stick that Albert brings out, or just wearing some small skulls around their neck. Okay, cool. Be good to just see them on TV as a tag team, to be honest. I mean, we have been getting Albert a little bit. We've not been seeing so much of Isla. And honestly, at this point, you do kind of question, why did you call them up as early as what you did? Like, we haven't really done much with them on a consistent basis. So why did we call them up so early? So hopefully big things coming up for them soon. I think they're a very interesting women's tag team, and they feel like a women's tag team as well. Normally a lot of women that just get thrown together, these two feel like a proper tag team, so hopefully more for them coming up soon. Mr. Kurtz, shout out to you, says, do you think Cody could lose again? Mania 41 has to be Rock Roman, right? So this could be a launching pad for that, as the Cody crybabies got their way for this Mania. Mr. Kurtz, appreciate it. So, do I think Cody could lose again? It's a possibility. I don't think it's the option I would choose. I think that it's a possibility, though. Mania 41 has got to be Rock Roman, right? I would say that's the front runner, but I think you could also look to do it at SummerSlam. SummerSlam's a massive show. It's a stadium show. They haven't announced it yet, but looking at the previous SummerSlams, it's always been a big stadium show. I can't imagine that this year is going to be any different. So obviously it does depend on where we're going to be and the size of the venue, but it's SummerSlam. I can't see us going back to a smaller venue now. I've got to think it'll be a stadium. So you could do it there, but Mania 41's probably the front runner, and there are rumours that Mania could be in Las Vegas, which feels right for The Rock. Obviously Hollywood would be better, but Vegas is still all show. Vegas is still glitz and glamour. It's still everything turned up big time. I kind of feel like that is right for Rock versus Roman. So if it's going to be Vegas, I think this would be the match for that WrestleMania. So could this be a launching pad? Cody Crybaby's got their way for this Mania. Yeah, I mean, if you do Rock Roman, you don't need the title. So if Cody does win, then I don't think it derails anything. I don't think it's a problem. I just think that we're working our way towards Rock Roman, but it's how we get there. When do we get there? So Mania 41, I'd say, is the front runner, yes. Pickle Chips said, I liked it, and I thought The Rock suggesting Gunza is a hint that Dwayne the Pebble Johnson will be all elite soon. Austin Wilson said Bron Breakker should have gone to SmackDown, but I'm okay with it. I'm excited to see how WWE has got in store for him. Does it mean that Jade goes to Raw? Well, Bron Breakker did go to SmackDown. And that is a bit strange because we expected him to go up against Gunther at WrestleMania. I did anyway, because apparently Gunther Brock was the plan for WrestleMania. That is obviously a Raw match because the IC title and Gunther are on Raw. So Bron Breakker signing with SmackDown does just make me question how we now get that match. And I'm wondering now if we're going down a different path and Bron Breakker is now going to have his own creative, which is fine. I wonder if it's now a bit more likely that we get Bron Breakker versus Logan Paul. I wonder if that's a bit more likely. That's probably this might not be a great signing for LA Knight, right? LA Knight versus Logan was what I was expecting for WrestleMania, but I also expected Bron to go to Raw. He hasn't. He's gone to SmackDown. So what do you do with him now? How do you use Bron Breakker, right? Obviously, he doesn't need to be around a title immediately, so we can kind of just put him in a feud. That would be fine. But the feud I was expecting was for the Intercontinental title, and it was going to be against Gunther. Well, if we're not doing that, all of a sudden we might have to start having a conversation about Bron and Logan. And as we said, that's probably not a good sign for LA Knight. So definitely we're going down roads I wasn't expecting. So we're going to have to wait and see. And Jade going to Raw, that is another road I wouldn't be expecting, because there's big rumors of her and Bianca as a tag team, and there was big rumors that she was going to SmackDown, and she didn't sign with SmackDown. So if she's going to Raw, that would be another thing that's not going as we expected. So it's kind of all up in the air at the moment. We just cannot get a read of this, and the dirt sheets don't seem to be coming out with accurate information at the moment. So, which I've got to say I really like. This is not a problem. I love the fact we're going off-road. I love the fact that we're doing stuff which we didn't see coming. So it's a very, very exciting time. Mr. Cud said, I think bringing The Rock in has freshened it up a bit, as Roman and the Bloodline story had gone stale for me. But Days, do you think The Rock will turn on Roman like Mike Tyson? Well, I do think that there will be a turn. I do think that he will turn on him, but I just don't know when. And the more they are making it obvious that it could be this WrestleMania, the more I just naturally think that it's not going to be this WrestleMania. Like, it would be very heelish to, like, plant lots of little indicators and then basically say to the fans, oh, what, you thought this was going to happen? Like, oh, you thought you was really clever, but it not actually go that way. So I think the little Easter eggs are brilliant. I think they're great talking points, as we said earlier, but I am absolutely taking them with a pinch of salt. They are indicators of something that could potentially happen, but they are far from guaranteeing that something would happen. So I am keeping an eye on the situation. I'm looking forward to more little Easter eggs. I'm looking forward to more conversations. But yeah, at the moment, I think a turn will happen. But when? Will it be at WrestleMania? Will it be after WrestleMania? I mean, if we're doing Rock versus Roman at Mania 41, if The Rock turns on Roman at Mania 40, that means then we've got a 12-month build, which we have done before, but you might not want to give yourself that long of a build. You might only want to give yourself, say, a 6-month build or a 3-month build. So again, it's going to have to be a watch this space. I do think that there will be a turn of some description. And the other conversation is who turns on who. Does Roman turn on The Rock, you know, or do you have The Rock turn on Roman? Who do you want to be the face and who do you want to be the heel when those two finally meet? Because I'm convinced we get that match, right? We were meant to get it this year. I'm convinced we get the match, and WrestleMania 41 would look good for the match. But who do you want to be the face and who do you want to be the heel? I think I want Roman to be the heel and I want The Rock to be the face, which I don't know if that goes against what some of you would do, but I just think The Rock, people love The Rock. People would love to cheer The Rock, and it's not that we wanted The Rock to be heel, it's just we wanted Cody this year, right? And it felt like he pushed Cody out the way, and we wasn't standing for that. So it wasn't really much to do with The Rock, it was more to do with wanting Cody. So I think the fans would definitely accept. I mean, when The Rock's music hit, he got a pop. Like, you know, the people were excited to see him. And then, of course, they were like, oh, yeah, he's heel, and then started booing. So I think that, for me, Rock goes face. Keep Roman heel, because heel Roman has been awesome. And I would build towards WrestleMania 41. Cameron says, I could also see LA Knight pinning Logan to set up a WrestleMania match. That's a good shout. That's a good shout. There are a few other stories that can come out of the chamber. So, you know, LA Knight pinning Logan could definitely go that way. Obviously, LA Knight and AJ Styles have been getting in each other's way as well, so that's maybe a situation to keep an eye on. If AJ Styles is going to get involved somehow, because he absolutely could. And as you said, you know, there's other matches that can come out of the chamber. LA Knight pinning Logan would then start a feud in that direction. Jade Cargill, if she can get into the chamber, you know, then we can go down the road of her and Bianca doing something together. So yeah, the thing with the chamber, a lot like the Rumble, it's not always just about who wins. There are definitely other stories that can come out of it. But as I said earlier, Bron Breakker now being on SmackDown does just make me question what are we doing with him, and is he going to get involved in the United States title picture? So interesting. Albia said, obvious mockery of Rock for his cousin. Rock has to have Fatu and Zilla come to help him once he turns on Roman at WrestleMania 41. Well, I think Zilla's gone back to Booker T's promotion, I read. And Fatu, Jacob Fatu, I mean, we know the issues there. So I don't know if anything has changed. Obviously, The Rock is going to have a bit of pull now at the board level. I've got to think that he would be pulling to be bringing in Jacob Fatu. I mean, The Rock going onto the TKO boards could see some movement with Jacob Fatu, but it doesn't guarantee it. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Don't know. I'm a bit split on that, to be honest. I'm not sure that we will see those coming in. Zilla, though, maybe, but he's, I think I read the other day, gone back to Booker T's promotion. Ilya Punk, shout out to you, at Finish the Story 3, says, The Rock this, The Rock that, blah, blah, blah. Let's talk about the men's elimination chamber match and how stacked it is. 6 big names with Orton, Bobby, Drew, Kevin Owens, LA Knight and Logan. I can see Logan and Kevin Owens doing some crazy spots in the chamber. I feel like there's a second. Yeah, there is. The cameraman kicks on the ref's head and knocks him out, and they shift the angle to another cameraman, and they see why the cameraman kicked the ref on the head, where the cameraman is removing his hoodie, and it turns out to be AJ Styles, and he could cost Knight the match, and Drew wins. Well, I think that's quite interesting, to be honest, because I do wonder if AJ will get involved, because we have seen like him and LA Knight getting in each other's way. So for him to be in there disguised as like a cameraman is quite an interesting concept. Would be an interesting angle and way of doing it. So you absolutely could go down that road, or as was mentioned earlier, maybe LA Knight and Logan are going at it. LA Knight eliminates Logan. Logan could then attack LA Knight on a SmackDown in the future, and then we end up getting that match. So my gut feeling was LA Knight Logan is what I thought we were building to, but maybe it could be LA Knight, AJ Styles and Logan in a triple threat, right? Maybe we could be building to that match. But I gotta tell you, the Bron Breakker news has really flipped everything for me, because I felt very confident in Bron Breakker versus Gunther, and I don't feel very confident in it now. So now it makes me question what we're doing with Bron Breakker. Maybe it's a case that Bron Breakker just is not going to be on the WrestleMania cards. But Triple H did put a post out earlier today where he is posing with Bron. And, like, you know, his blurb is like, you know, this is the next big thing. This is the next big deal. He's got that dog in him. It really does kind of build him up. So I think it would be strange to leave him off the WrestleMania card. I think they're going to want to showcase him. But maybe they just do that, give him a showcase match. Give him a match up against a decent opponent, but an opponent that he gets a victory over, you know, and looks good. And gets a WrestleMania win and makes a statement, sends a message kind of a thing. The other thing they've started doing, though, in recent years is making the go-home shows feel more important. We've seen like the Andre Battle Royal take place on the go-home shows, so there is every chance they give Bron his statement win, but he actually gets his statement win on SmackDown rather than at WrestleMania, because even though WrestleMania is now 2 days, we've still had mid-card titles and Andre the Giant Battle Royals take place on the go-home SmackDown of WrestleMania rather than WrestleMania itself. So yeah, at the moment, I can't see how the pieces are fitting together. There's lots of options, though. We're not short of options. But it's just what's the final picture going to look like. Gabrielle, shout out to you, said, I genuinely thought this was a flawless episode. New signing Braun, solid match with Tiffany and Zelina, a great match with Logan and Miz, a showcase of returning talent of Naomi and AOP, fun opening match with R-Truth doing his thing, and of course an epic finale with The Rock's promo. Awesome. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And actually, whilst you're talking about matches, it seems to probably lead us quite nicely into the match scores. So I've got the match scores, and I've got them here. You can see they're in a wonderful spreadsheet, which is just so well presented. But this is how you lot scored the matches. We're going to do this for each of the opinion videos. I'm starting to put them into this spreadsheet. It makes it a lot easier than the way I was doing it before. So you can see that all the matches came out as okay to good, right? So sort of middle of the road, if you will. So they came out okay to good. And the match that people enjoyed the most was Kevin Owens against Dominic Mysterio. So it came out okay to good, and its percentage was 94%. And actually, the Tiffany match, the Naomi match, and the Logan Paul match, all of those get in quite close, because Kevin Owens against Dominic Mysterio was 94%. Tiffany against Zelina Vega was 93%. Naomi against Alba Fire was also 93%. Logan against The Miz got 91%. And the AOP squash match, that ended up getting 74%. That was the match that people enjoyed the least, but makes sense, of course. There wasn't really much to it. And what we can do is just have a look and see where we are with the year so far. We might not do this for every show, but because this is the first time of looking at this on this episode of Opinions, it makes sense to have a little look at it. So if we select them all, these are the top matches, right? Or these are all the matches that we've had so far this year. So the top one, right, which was the very first match that we rated, and I think if we were to go back and watch it, I think we would rate it different. I still think it was a very good match, and it deserves to be up here, but I think we just got carried away, or we didn't quite have the system sorted. So this might get re-reviewed, right? But at the moment, it is Nia Jax, Becky Lynch, the very first match of the year. That's the top match. Second, Ilya Dragunov against Trick Williams. Third, Lyra Valkyria against Roxanne Perez. Fourth, Judgment Day against DIY, Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. And fifth, amazingly, is Bayley winning the Women's Royal Rumble. At the moment, those are the top 5 WWE matches of the year so far, right? So those are the top 5. And if we go all the way down, we can look. We've got reviews for SmackDown, for NXT, for Raw. So the bottom worst match is Ivy Nile against Valhalla at the moment. Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell beating Chelsea Green and Piper Niven is second worst. And Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark beating Chelsea Green and Piper Niven is the third worst. And amazingly, AJ Styles, LA Knight. Now, there was no winner in that match. I always put the winner in green. There was no winner in this match, so this must have had some interference from probably like Roman, I would imagine, something along those lines, as we were building towards the Royal Rumble match. So I think probably because of the outside interference, that's why that's as low as what it is. But yeah, I just thought you'd be interested to have a look at that, and we can continue looking at that as the year goes by. We'll definitely try and do some other bits with that data, but I think it's really interesting data, really interesting. And I kind of like those top matches. They feel right. They feel about right. I mean, I would say those are the matches that I would have up there as well. Whether Nia Jax Becky is the best match of the year, though, as we said, that one kind of bugs me a little bit, because I just think if that was to be on, say, this week's Raw, I don't know that it would get that rating. It may do, but it might not. That was the first time we started doing this system, and I think people were just finding their feet a little bit. So we may re-watch that on the member stream and re-review it, right? I don't know. We'll have to see. But Gabriel, shout out to you. Yeah, all the matches came through okay to goods, and pretty strong scores as well. Vampy says Triple H and The Rock face off and a segment is needed, in my opinion. The show was okay, but I expected way more from The Rock segment wise. Yes, this was the first introduction to Hollywood Rock, although Triple H saying everything goes through him and that's the final say. While The Rock is on the board of TKO and he's in a much higher position, Triple H, meanwhile, all The Rock said was poking fun at the crowds. I wish they took shots at each other, is all I'm saying. I feel it's going to happen, though it would have made the show better. That's fair. I don't think that's unfair. I think for me, I just wanted a segment that was going to give me some talking points. You pretty much guaranteed that with a Rock segment, but I was looking for a segment that I could do an opinion video on, that we could talk about and chuck around, and that segment delivered for me. I think, as you said, a lot of the stuff which is them firing shots at each other, that's coming. We're definitely gonna get that. This, I think, was just let's introduce heel Rock, right? We haven't quite seen, we had a glimpse of him at the press conference, but let's really introduce heel Rock. Let's see a heel Rock that's gonna go at the crowds. We've already seen him using the Cody Crybabies line, but obviously he went a lot further here, and you know, he had the Versace jacket on as well, and so he made his way down, laid into the crowds. Obviously there's those little potential Easter eggs. Certainly I don't think that is a mistake on his part. You know, there was people on X straight away saying that's an error. Why has he done that? Why he can't even do that right? And it's like, no, he's definitely doing that for a reason, right? That's for a reason. And then when you add in the fact that he said that the Bloodline are the deadliest duo, you go, well, that's interesting as well, isn't it? Because where does this leave Solo? So, you know, I think with the little Easter eggs and the pointing thing, that's given fans something to get their teeth into. And we've managed to, you know, introduce heel Rock and kind of set the tone, I think, for how we're going to present him going forward, how he's going to act going forwards. So we've managed to do that as well. And, you know, we've delivered a segment which I think a lot of people were satisfied with. Maybe not blown away with, but satisfied with. Which means that a lot of the stuff people were hoping for, we've still got coming up. So I totally get your point. You know, it would have been a better segment if they were like going at each other and Cody had come out and all that kind of stuff. But it's coming. We'll get that. We'll get that on the road to WrestleMania. Chris said they are really planting the seeds in the OC story that's coming our way. Yeah, that was good seeing Carl Anderson and AJ Styles kind of going at each other. That's very interesting. So heartbreak for the fans of the OC. Thankfully I don't think there were any, but because that faction's been just a non-entity for a long time. But I am excited. I'm excited. I want to know what we're going to do with the OC. I mean, I sort of know something, right? I think a few of you will know of something, but we won't talk about it because it's a bit of a spoiler. But in regards to, I'm very interested to see how that develops, right? But AJ Styles, is he just now going to be completely on his own? Are we going to be starting a little war with the OC, or do they just now leave him alone? Yeah, I agree. Very interesting. I think there's definitely something to explore there. Brandon said Sasha Banks, WWE. I don't know. Don't know, my friend. Pretty confident she is on her way to AEW with lots of little teases with Boston and stuff like that. I don't think AEW would do that if they didn't have her coming in. So, and I think it's been pretty much confirmed by the dirt sheets that she's been on their wage bill. She's been like signed up for a good little while now, so I think it's pretty nailed on. She's AEW bound. I don't know how long that's going to be for though, and I do think we see Sasha Banks again one day. To be honest, she needs to go in the Hall of Fame. Even at this age, she's done enough to warrant going into the Hall of Fame. She wasn't part of the first ever women's main event of a WrestleMania. I think she was the second one, her and Bianca, at WrestleMania 37. Certainly the first part of the first all-black female. I don't even know if it was the first all-black WrestleMania main event full stop, but certainly the first all-black female WrestleMania main event. So for that reason alone, she's a history maker. And so I don't think too many would argue. I don't think there's going to be too many complaints out there. If you look at like some of the women and other people that have gone into the Hall of Fame, like it's not the highest of bars to get into the Hall of Fame. Sasha Banks has definitely done enough, right? She's definitely done enough, even though she's still in her early 30s. But I think we'll see her again, and hopefully not just for the Hall of Fame. TJ, hashtag we want Cody said, I love how the Dakota factor is playing out. I just hope she stays face. She has an aura, but I honestly feel like turning heel again isn't going to benefit as much. Let her wings spread. Who knows? Maybe she's the next WWE champion instead of Bayley, or could even go to Raw and dethrone Rhea. Yeah, I agree, and I think we need to find a gimmick for her. I think we need to find just a little way of presenting her, not just for the Hall of Fame. TJ, hashtag we want Cody said, I love how the Dakota factor is playing out. I just hope she stays face. She has an aura, but I honestly feel like turning heel again isn't going to benefit as much. Let her wings spread. Who knows? Maybe she's the next WWE champion instead of Bayley, or could even go to Raw and dethrone Rhea. Yeah, I agree, and I think we need to find a gimmick for her. I think we need to find just a little way of presenting her that allows her to stand on her own 2 feet. I don't know why, but in my mind, I can see her with a crown, and I've seen this for a long time. I just can't get past the King Kota thing. I love the King Kota nickname. There's just something a bit fun about her being a girl but being called King, because obviously most girls would be Queen, but she calls herself King, and King Kota, and King of Kicks, I believe. So she, like the crown that like Montez wears, which isn't all glitz and glamour. It's not like, a Jerry the King Lawler crown. It's just a little simple thing, right? Just a little simple thing, little simple crown that he has wore like a few times in the past. He doesn't wear it now, but back in the day, early Street Profits, he used to wear it. Something like that. Maybe she could even borrow that. Come out with that. Lean into the King Kota thing and really, really like show off her kicks. I would make sure in each of her matches she shows off like a good 5, 6, 7 different kicks, different kinds of kicks, to really get across her kicking variety. You're really looking for something to make her stand out. And even is it Lola Vice does that kick where she just rapid fire, bang, 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 and she like moves forward, and like her opponent's getting like knocked back into the corner. Like Dakota could steal that. I don't even know if she's got that in her arsenal, but it's be simple enough to do. But she's got some really good variety of kicks, and I think that she should definitely kind of lean into that, because you don't really see women kind of kicking all that much. But she's got it, and it could make her stand out. And the King Kota thing, and coming down with a crown, I think it could be there's something there. There feels to me like there's something there. So I would like to see her kind of exploring that and kind of going into that. So I agree. Let her spread her wings and let's see what we can do with her. Jason says Rock was the highlight of the night. Sam says, GOAT tier show. I believe The Rock throwing up the gun hand pose thing means he'll probably betray Roman, but the Cody crybabies really ruined WrestleMania. Can't have anything nice like Rock versus Roman Reigns. Well, I think you'll get it. I just don't think it's this year. But I think you'll get it. Fans, I think, still want that match, even the Cody crybabies. But it's just that they wanted to finish the story more this time round. Nikki said, I like the Naomi's new theme. I sort of enjoyed The Rock's heel promo. Thought it could have been better. Crowd was not that against The Rock. It was pretty split. Matches were pretty good. We'll see what Raw brings us. They have to do the face-to-face with all of them. Oh yeah, and they will. And they will. Melanie said it was bad. I didn't like it. Oh, that's a shame. Rich said, Rock conducted his words tonight, and here's why. You can't just budge in places. I agree. Work your way to the top like everyone else. Very true words. So do it, Rock. Cody won the Rumble, and he's the pick. And to talk like Roman about me is not helping both. See you soon. Yeah, I think it's an interesting point that we've kind of touched on it before. People have said, like, doesn't he know that Cody won the Rumble? And obviously on Unseen, there was that great post that we included, that great tweet. I think it was from Patrick the Heel, where he said it makes a lot more sense if you think that The Rock really didn't know that Cody had won the Rumble. If The Rock thinks that Cody is just asking for a rematch and hadn't won the Rumble, all of a sudden everything The Rock says makes a lot more sense. But obviously Cody did win the Rumble, has earned the right to make a choice. But what I would say is that, you know, Cody definitely, there's big holes in this story which I'm still waiting for them to get explained, and I am a little bit worried that we are moving forward and we're just not going to explain it. Why did Cody step to the side, right? We still not had an answer on this. Why did he step to the side? And why did he, like, say to The Rock that, like, I'm not gonna face Roman? I mean, he basically said to The Rock, you can have him. He said, he said to Roman, I'm not gonna face you at this WrestleMania, right? I'm not gonna face you, just not at WrestleMania. And he did step to the side, and he did walk away, and we did get The Rock and Roman face to face. So the thing is that Cody definitely sent the message to the world that he was going to step to the sides, and so he kind of sent that message, well, he very clearly sent that message to The Rock as well. So we get to the press event. Cody hasn't made his decision officially yet because the crowd were demanding that he finish the story. But you can understand why The Rock started kind of showing off the family tree, and understand why The Rock was like building towards him and Roman and everything, because Cody had kind of made it clear, I'm not going to challenge Roman. So I feel like this, to me, it doesn't make Cody look good. Cody looks like a undecisive idiot that just flip-flops around and changes his mind, right? Doesn't make Cody look brilliant. And then, like, The Rock and Roman, like, talking about how it's going to be the biggest match, and Roman saying, look, I'll make the decision for Cody, considering he still hasn't done it. We're doing this match. You know, Cody coming out and being all upset and everything, it's like, well, yeah, I mean, you are dilly-dallying, right? You can understand people not wanting to just wait around and get on with stuff. So I kind of think, like, none of this has been explained. And I really would like that side of it explained. And The Rock kind of acting like he doesn't know that Cody won the Rumble. That's a little bit weird as well. I did say about the promo though, maybe The Rock does know that Cody won the Rumble. Maybe he is just winding up the fans. Perhaps we as fans are like, no, he won the Rumble. Like, what are you on about? Because he kept talking about these teams. Could you imagine if they lost the Super Bowl and they just wanted a rematch straight away? It's like, no, that's not the same. It's not. That's not what is happening here. Cody lost, but then he won the Rumble. He has qualified to get another match. He is allowed another opportunity because he won the Royal Rumble. But what if The Rock is aware of all of that, doesn't care, right? Wants to wind you up, and is kind of going down this path to wind you up, right? Because it was frustrating. And perhaps that's the exact reaction that he was looking for. So I don't know if I'm just giving him too much credit, right? I don't know if I'm just being too kind, but mate, I don't know. It's a tricky one, isn't it? It's a tricky one because there's still these glaring holes in the current story that we're telling because we pivoted. It's very difficult to know as to whether they are just going to move on from it and not explain it, or if we are using it to make the fans angry. And it's kind of tricky to know. It's just it's a mess, to be honest. This whole thing has been a mess, but they're just trying to, I think, mop it up the best they can. But I think a lot of us could have found a better way of mopping it up so far, right? I think a lot of us could have explained as to why things have gone there. There are reasons, there are explanations. You can easily explain it. Maybe it will still come out. Maybe this is still going to be explained as to what was said, why Cody stepped aside, why Cody was so indecisive. We know the fans played a part, right? But it would be great to just hear what's happened, you know, in kayfabe, not in real. We know what happened in real, but it'd be great to hear the kayfabe side of it. So, yeah, Rich, shout out to you. RDog7190 said, Days, this is Raphael, and SmackDown was good, about a 7 out of 10. Best parts are where they both show Damage Control and Bailey to continue the EO Bailey storyline, and of course The Rock confirming his status as part of the Bloodline whilst bringing back his Hollywood gimmick. Yep, I agree. I'm into the fact that they've kept the Damage Control name, which I thought was very interesting. And EO Bailey continued to put a bit of builds there. Dakota kind of caught, not in the middle. She's definitely with Bailey, but Bailey doesn't know whether she can trust her, and that's interesting. I've seen a lot of people online going, no, you can trust her, you can trust her. People are invested in that, so yeah, good. Ramsey said Avengers Endgame scenario ending is very possible for Cody versus Roman. I have never seen Avengers. I have never seen Avengers Endgame, so I can't really comment on it. Endgame scenario ending is very possible for Cody versus Roman. I have never seen Avengers. I have never seen Avengers Endgame, so I can't really comment on that. But I'm sure people out there have, and you'll have to let me know if that is where we're going. Are WWE taking booking tips now from the Marvel Cinematic Universe? I would hope not, personally, but yeah, maybe in this case it is a similar scenario. Matt said, just here to say your WWE content is the best on YouTube. Keep killing it. P.S. Heel Rock is going to be a fun ride. Matt, shout out to you. I'm really pleased you enjoy it. Yeah, I want to get these opinion videos to kind of really stand on their own 2 feet as well, because I think this is a great way of interacting with more of you, and I think that's, you know, what we're looking to do. I try to interact with as many as I can during the live streams, but obviously that's a little bit of a challenge because there's so much going on. There's breaking news, there's things to react to on the show, obviously the super chats coming in, so trying to get into the chat and like explore comments is a little bit tricky. We've definitely got a bit of time we can sit down and like do what we're doing here and give it its own space. So and we can look at the scores for the matches, talk about the show, throw a few ideas and theories around. I do want to start like providing my kind of a score, if you will. I still haven't kind of figured out how to present that in these videos, but I think for me, this week's show was like around about a 7.25, maybe go into a 7.5. I don't think it quite hit the 8 mark for me. I don't think there was like matches that were... we were lacking maybe great matches. I think if you look at the match scores, they all came out as okay to goods, and I would agree with that. I don't think there was anything here that's going to really live long in the memory from an in-ring point of view. The Rock segment I thought was really captivating, definitely the highlight of the show. I know a lot of people wanted more. It ticked the boxes for me. It maybe didn't blow my mind, and it's maybe not something we're gonna talk about forever, right? Because I think there will be bigger promo segments coming up very soon, right? So this will be one that kind of gets not forgotten but pushed down the pecking order a little bit. But for something to watch on a Friday night, no complaints from me. So yeah, 7.25, 7.5. You know, if I'm feeling generous, I might go to that 7.5. But I think the in-ring action just caught. If there was like, you know, a couple of banging matches in there, now we're talking. But it felt like we had just a pretty standard episode of SmackDown with this monster segment strapped onto the end of it. But good to see Logan having a TV match. Do have to shout that out. So, Matt, shout out to you. I appreciate the kind words, my friends. Chris said, making The Rock heel is 1,000% the right call. I was for Cody, but this is so epic. This is The Rock we all wanted. Timothy said, Days, was it me or did Heyman seem off? Seemed like he was disgusted at The Rock getting the spotlight. And every movement, he put his hand to his face like he was cringing. Even look at Roman's face. He didn't seem happy. The whole thing seems off to me. I will have to rewatch to look at Heyman's reaction. Not something I paid attention to be honest. I did look at Roman. I can't say that I picked up on anything from Roman, but yeah, I'll have to rewatch and have a look at Heyman. That's an interesting one. I think quite a few people watching this will do that though. Hawkins Jr. said, I really feel like this could be the breakout premium live event for Tiffany Stratton. I'm really looking forward to the women's chamber match. Most people will tell you Becky should win the match, but what if WrestleMania becomes Tiffy Mania? I don't know that I share the same level of excitement about Tiffany Stratton as maybe Hawkins Jr. does. I think she is talented, solid, someone that you would build. I don't know that I would pull the trigger personally and have her like winning the chamber, competing for the women's title like straight out of the gates. I think there was a couple of promos, one in particular in NXT that really kind of halted her momentum for me. I remember her doing a live promo in the ring and it was bad. And I think up until that point, I was all aboard the Tiffy hype train. Her in-ring is very good. Prettiest moonsault looks fantastic. She's obviously got a very distinctive look. It's kind of Barbie-esque. That's, you know, fashionable, what with the movie not coming out too long ago and being part of like award season, so it's being mentioned still. So she's probably the closest we've got to a real life Barbie, but she's a real life Barbie that can wrestle, that can actually do some stuff in the ring. But her live promo on NXT, I think just kind of halted her momentum a little bit for me, to the point where I was actually surprised they called her up. But because it felt like there was more to work on. But then I suppose you think, well, there's always more to work on, isn't there? Like, you're never going to be the finished article. There's always going to be things you can improve. And how often is she going to be in a ring with a live microphone? They'll probably ever just do like backstage promos for quite a while. So yeah, I like the fact that I was surprised they called her up. I feel like her live in-ring promos need work. Could have been just a bad day at the office. Maybe they were like, that's not you, you know? That's not what you're normally like. Normally you're better than this. So perhaps like what looks to me to be an issue was maybe just a bad day. So, I don't know. I'll be very interested to see her in a ring with a live microphone, and see how she does, to be honest, because that's the big area of concern I've got. Wrestling wise, I think she's good. I think she's solid. and we'll see. But yeah, I'm probably not as eager to be like, go, 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 let's get to the title, let's have a win the chamber. I'm probably very much like, let's take our time. We don't need to like maybe rush quite as quick. But there's a lot of Tiffany Stratton fans out there that definitely would be, maybe Hawkins Jr. Well, seems like Hawkins Jr. is one, and that would be like, go, go, go. So we'll see. She's a good talent. Cheers. Demi said, I think it was a good show. I'm still confused as to why they signed Braun to SmackDown. Same. I think Raw was better for him. Same. Maybe Braun versus Logan. Maybe. Feel like me and Demi are like on the same page there. I'm also confused. I think Raw was better, and we have spoke about Braun Logan being an option, so I'm right there with you. Prakar, shout out to you, said, I want Cody to win at Mania, then on SmackDown, Solo Jimmy turn on Roman. We hear news that Roman for now is done with wrestling. We won't see him for the next few years, but at Rumble 25, entrant number 30 is Roman. He wins, and at Mania 41, he finishes his story by beating Cody. I love the idea of Roman finishing his story. Prakar, shout out to you. Alex said, I'm wondering what the plan for Braun and Jade are at WrestleMania. I thought we'd be getting Braun Gunther, same, and Jade Bianca. Well, I thought Jade Bianca as a team, actually. But even so, if she goes over to Raw, hard to see her doing anything with Bianca. But if they're on opposite brands, I've no clue who they can face. Thoughts? Well, I feel like Jade and Braun are quite similar in the sense that they are big and strong and new, and both could get showcase matches. So both could win Battle Royals. Braun could win the Andre Battle Royal. Jade could win the Women's Battle Royal if we're bringing that back. I don't know that we are. We probably should. So, you know, you could go down that road. You could also just put them in there against a good level of opponent, not a jobber, but like a good opponent that you're like, yeah, I think they'll beat them. It's going to be tricky. You put them in there against them, and they get like a good win, and they look like, you know, really, really good. You know, like Braun against Ricochet, something like that. And so you could go down that road, or you could like put them onto WrestleMania and have. You could do Braun, who's got Braun Logan. I'm trying to think who's got the belts. Who can Jade go after? I mean, to be honest, singles match for Jade is a little bit tricky because I don't think she is that far along. She is someone that I think she can have a match, right? But there's probably going to be some mistakes in there. So got to be really, really careful. Got to be really careful with how we present her. So, to be honest, a multi-person match for her, or put her in a tag team. But if she goes over to Raw, we're going to need to find like a partner for her, so that she can then be in a tag team. Did they not do WrestleMania showcase matches last year, where we had like 4 teams? Do you remember that? 4 women's teams competing in like a match, and then wasn't it like 4 men's teams competing in a match? Maybe we do something like that again, which I was not that keen on, to be honest. I'd much rather we do the Battle Royal. But yeah, we did do WrestleMania showcase tag matches last year. Could it be that Braun and Jade find their way into those? I mean, I don't hope not. I don't want them at all. But yeah, you know, that's maybe what we're looking at. Certainly Jade, I think, needs protecting a bit more than Braun. I feel a bit more confident that they'll give Braun a singles match at WrestleMania than I would Jade. But watch this space. Rizo said, just getting in there early by saying Jade against Tiffany is a future WrestleMania main event. Reese said SmackDown was decent. Elimination Chamber matches look stacked. A lot of hidden messages in The Rock's promo. Still feel at Mania Rock turns on Roman and helps Cody win, then walks out with Solo and Jimmy. Roman comes back at SummerSlam, challenges The Rock for WrestleMania 41. Henry said, I've been thinking what's going to happen at WrestleMania. Rock might interfere, Cody versus Roman, then Stone Cold comes out and helps Cody. But it would be interesting if Dustin comes back, but he won't. But what are your thoughts? It would be great for Dustin, but he's under contract, isn't he, with AEW, and I'm struggling to see it. I wouldn't have quite this many bells and whistles. I think, for me, all that kind of noise is fine, but it can't be the reason that Cody wins. Cody has got to win on his own. So you can have Stone Cold come down to deal with The Rock, right? You could absolutely do that, and it would be amazing, right? So The Rock's in Roman's corner. Someone's got to deal with him. Glass shatters, down comes Stone Cold. He starts pounding away on The Rock. They're brawling. You could absolutely do that, right? You could have someone deal with Jimmy, and as you said, Dustin would be amazing. Maybe we have to go with someone like Randy Orton. So you have Stone Cold and Orton coming down, right? But at the end of the day, all of that noise is noise, and loud noise if you're going to have Stone Cold and Rock going at it, right? But they need to go. And then it needs to come down to Roman and Cody, because I don't want Cody finishing his story because, you know, Roman was distracted. I don't want Roman to have that excuse. So for me, the noise is fine, and the Stone Cold chat, I think, is very exciting. But at the end of the day, it needs to be them two in a ring on their own. They need to go at each other for a good few minutes at least, back and forth, trying to outmaneuver each other, and then hopefully Cody can pick up the victory. No outside interference. He finishes his story. No distraction. Blah blah blah, and job done. So yeah, I love some of the suggestions. But I think my bigger concern would be, does Cody do it on his own at the end of the day? I really hope he does. Robert said, another great show. SmackDown is stacked with amazing talent. I don't see them putting on any bad shows anymore with what they have. I'm very excited for the future. Watson said, SmackDown always feels bigger with Roman on, but also with The Rock. It just was a sight to behold. This could be special. Even now, this isn't the way they wanted to go. Also, was good to see Logan finally have a match on TV. Crater Face said, to be fair, but The Rock's promo was cool. I didn't expect anything less, but it seemed like he really didn't give any kind of reply to Triple H's comments on Raw. Don't you think he would have acknowledged something about that? What are your thoughts? So yeah, Triple H basically said, you know, everything comes through me. People don't know their role. I agree. I think that he should have acknowledged those comments. I think this promo is more about, you know, I'm planting my flag. I'm here. I'm the heel Rock. Like, this is how I'm going to be presented now. I'm now officially part of the bloodline. I'm officially now going to be everybody's problem, right? I kind of got that message from it. So he didn't really reply to Triple H directly, but indirectly he's kind of saying, I'm here now. Like, I ain't budging. Like, and I'm going to be a big problem. So I would expect them to have a confrontation. I would expect Rock and Roman to be, you know, turning up unannounced at like Raw and causing trouble, and, you know, Triple H, no doubt Triple H and The Rock will be face to face and blah blah blah. But yeah, I don't disagree. I think that there was a few parts of the promo which, you know, him talking about Cody and not really acknowledging that Cody had won the Rumble and earned that rematch, that bugged people. The fact that he didn't speak to Triple H is a really good shout. You know, he didn't respond to Triple H, that bugged people. We didn't find out what Cody had said to him to make him, like, why Cody had stood to the side. You know, that really should have come from Cody's promo, but we didn't even get that information from The Rock's promo. So again, we've got these glaring holes in the past as well. So yeah, I mean, it is true. This is far from a perfect story so far because of the pivots. I think also it probably doesn't help that The Rock's brought in his own writer, like Brian Gerwitz, because I don't know how well Brian is working with WWE's creative, but I can't imagine adding another voice into the pot is going to make things better, right? I'd imagine WWE would much rather they just everything go through them. Maybe we're seeing a little bit of consistency issue, you know? Maybe The Rock's off writing his own bits. This was unscripted, but unscripted in a official capacity. It doesn't mean that The Rock wasn't coming up with his own stuff. He's got his own writer, Brian Gerwitz. So as they're on private jets, as they're, sat in the bus, of course they're going to be talking about like things to say, right? Of course they're going to be coming up with stuff. So I kind of look at it and think, well, maybe there's a little bit of an issue there where it's not quite as cohesive as what we would like. And maybe part of the problem is that The Rock's got his own writer, and we're not kind of completely singing off the same hymn sheet. And maybe also part of the problem is that it was unscripted, because maybe he was meant to say something about Triple H's comments but ran out of time or forgot, because there was not a script to actually stick to. There was just like some bullet points, and maybe he didn't get to the Triple H bullet points. So I don't know. I agree. I think this is it's difficult, isn't it? It's difficult. It's difficult because like we're going down roads we weren't expecting, and we don't want the talent to be like chained up to a script when they are so capable of cutting promos like The Rock can cut. But then equally we get upset if like the little details aren't taken care of as well. So it's kind of like we want The Rock to be going off script and be The Rock and be who he is, but equally we want him to make sure all the little details are being filled in as well. So we want a lot, basically. We want a lot. Rico said, I need a babyface Kevin Hart to confront a heel Rock at WrestleMania in his hometown. Kevin can even have Philly acknowledge him. The script writes itself. That's excellent. I do love that suggestion. Luke said, wasn't Braun supposed to face Gunther? Well, it was a rumour that it was going to happen. I swear he said he wasn't finished with Judgment Day. They're both on Raw. What's going on? And when's the draft? With the new graphics team, we could get random superstar selector for drafts. Well, the draft's going to be a little bit down the road. I mean, that won't be until after WrestleMania. So I don't think we can rely or wait for a draft. I don't know what's happening. I thought that we were getting Braun Gunther. It felt like going to Raw would make the most sense, but the changes with WrestleMania will have a knock-on effect, because all of a sudden now whatever plans they had for Seth have changed, because that was going to be Seth Cody. Well, all of a sudden it's not going to be Seth Cody. So what do you do with Seth? So that's changed things now, and that probably is having a knock-on effect, because whoever now faces Seth, or whatever we do with Seth, who were they facing before? So this thing goes all the way down the chain. Just changing that one main event, that WrestleMania main event, it's going to have a knock-on effect. So as a result of that, I don't know if now we're seeing a ripple effect, and part of that ripple effect may be that we planted seeds for Braun to go to Raw, but now he's actually ended up going to SmackDown. So I don't know. I think rather than like frying our brains trying to figure it out, there's a few things we can afford to just watch and let them play out. Rock's promo made no sense, said Gunther's shop. Talking about Cody thinking he gets his rematch just because he wants it, and that's how it works in the real world, is dumb. He won the Rumble to get the rematch. I like the Rock is heel, but the promo didn't do it for me. No, but as I said earlier, I'm going to give him benefit of the doubt. Did he do that just to wind you up, frustrate you, annoy you, right? Was that done by design to get those reactions? Because I think everyone reacted that way, like, what are you on about? Like, don't you know, like, what's going on? Like, frustration, anger, annoying people. If those are the kind of emotions he wants to bring out, I think he managed to achieve it. So part of me thinks that he's very good, one of the greatest on the mic, and he clearly was aware, he clearly knows that Cody won the Rumble. Did he do it by design to wind us up? Am I giving him too much credit? Don't Casual LA Night Enjoyer, yes! Is there a better place to end than Casual LA Night Enjoyer, right? I think I did. I will change that again. Right, Casual LA Night Enjoyer said, I love the Rock's promo, and overall the show was good. However, I've got two things I didn't like. Dom not going to Elimination Chamber because of R-Truth, and then how Raw is buried because SmackDown gets every star. Well, yeah, I think Dominic going into the chamber, I think, was unlikely. Certainly when he was up against Kevin Owens. I think Owens, you would expect him as the bigger single star to go into the chamber. Dominic could have gone in and then bumped around. We could have gone that way. But, no, I think Kevin going in makes sense. And Braun going to SmackDown, yeah, it really is one of the big talking points. I think it's caught a lot of people off guard. I think it's surprised a lot of people, but we'll see where that goes. We'll see where that leads. And with that, we are out of time. So thanks a lot for checking out this opinions video.
A Friday Night SmackDown that everybody was looking forward to because it was the first time since the press conference where we got Roman Reigns and The Rock in the same building, this time in the same ring together, hopefully giving us an explanation as to what happened at the press conference, what happened with Triple H, and maybe addressing what Triple H said just 1 week ago, where he referenced that everything goes through him, and it doesn't matter what table The Rock is sitting at. Everybody was enamored with The Rock last night, a throwback to the Hollywood Rock days. We got a little bit of Hollywood Rock, we got a little bit of corporate rock, we got some Nation of Domination rock. But at the end of it all, everybody was merely blinded by Rock going heel. What's the reason why Rock went heel? Where's the explanation? We got even more detail on everything developing right now that led to The Rock going into WrestleMania this year as side by side with Roman, the bad guy in Cody's story, and why we were introduced to Hollywood Rock last night on Friday Night SmackDown. Also, I got major updates on Drew McIntyre's contract situation, where everybody's basically asking WWE, hey, this guy's doing the best work of his career, he should be the world heavyweight champion. We'll go into that, and I got more on WrestleMania season right here on Off the Script. We will start with Hollywood Rock because everybody is over the moon that we got heel Rock back in WWE. Now, WWE made several changes to the WrestleMania 40 card. We've seen what I believe is a bumpy road so far on the road to WrestleMania. And the plans right now are Roman to defend that title against Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania Night 2 in the main event. Now, at the recent WrestleMania 40 press conference, Cody Rhodes announced he would challenge Roman Reigns for the Undisputed Universal Heavyweight Championship, a change from expectation as it was widely believed WWE would announce Rock versus Roman Reigns at the event. They did not do that. WWE's original plan, and this was before January, was Cody and Roman. Then The Rock takes Vince's board seat on the board of directors over at TKO. Plans changed, Vince goes away, Rock is inserted, and upon taking that seat, The Rock was promised a match with Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, amongst other things. They changed the plans when the fans revolted and clearly said, hey, this is not the story we've been given all this time. You've wasted a year of our life telling this Cody story, and now you want to pivot to The Rock because it's the bigger match out of the two? No, it doesn't work that way. I don't care who you are, where you come from, and how big your celebrity is. It doesn't work that way. You just can't come to TV and throw off plans that were already deep in motion. Doesn't work that way. And for all the Rock fans calling me and everybody else in the community a Cody crybaby, it seems to me that a lot of the crybabies are on the Rock side because you can't help yourself but call us Cody crybabies. Here's a little nugget of information for you. You can cry all you want for the rest of the fucking year. The Rock versus Roman Reigns did not, and I will stress that until we get Cody as the champion, did not make any sense this year. You can cry all you want all year. The match should take place next year and more than likely will. I see a lot of people crying on the Rock side more than I see the Cody crybabies. Keep it up. It makes me laugh every time I see it. It's great entertainment. You want to know the reason why we all quote unquote cried? It's because the fucking shit didn't make any sense. That's why we cried. And it's not even really crying because I've been doing this for a lot longer than you guys have been fucking probably watching pro wrestling. Give me a break. If it's bad creative, I will fucking rant, piss, and moan until we get some sort of logic involved. Inserting The Rock because it's the biggest main event you can do doesn't make any sense at all. Now, if you want Rock and Roman at WrestleMania, maybe he should have won the Royal Rumble. They didn't even go into that. Rock was too busy to go and come out at number 30 and win the Royal Rumble. At that point, we would have said, hey man, it made sense because The Rock won the Rumble. He's got the opportunity to wrestle Roman, not have Cody win the fucking Rumble and then give his shot to Rock with no explanation. No, but that's what you guys wanted, right? You're upset because the match is not taking place, but you're okay with all that other nonsense going on because it's The Rock, right? He's the biggest celebrity than Cody Rhodes. Give me a fucking break. It's ridiculous. So what they had to do, they changed plans 3 times before we got here. Rock got the match with Roman. Nobody knew anything. They went with Cody winning the Royal Rumble. Then they had Cody give up the fucking title shot with no explanation. And then we get Cody and Roman again, pivoted back to that, announced at the press conference with the graphic already made, and then there was some sort of power struggle there with Triple H and Rock to end the press conference. And everybody coming out of the press conference was like, all right, this is good. They're correcting the wrongs here. They're getting us back on track. So then Triple H comes out and says what he says to The Rock, and then we all figured, all right, Rock is going to show up next week. He'll address Triple H. So not only did we get everything leading up to that, we got Cody not explaining why he gave the title shot up to Rock. Then we get Triple H saying what he said last week, and then this week we got Rock saying nothing in regards to anything Triple H said. And in my honest opinion, whatever Triple H said was pretty fucking damning, if you want to take it as far as the storyline is concerned. No, but then you get, oh yeah, give it time. Now we got enough time to WrestleMania. I don't know, how many more times is The Rock going to show up on fucking television? I mean, how many times has you shown up before last night? I mean, I can count on one fucking hand. You think this guy's going to make weekly television? So, by my estimation, we may be looking at another few weeks, before we get any sort of explanation. Or maybe that's what they want to do. Nothing's made sense up until this point, and maybe they're just going to go with, oh, everybody's going to be along for the ride because Dwayne is involved, and it doesn't need to make sense at all. No, but at least you got your Hollywood Rock, though. Great. WWE has teased Rock teaming with Roman. Now, he's in the bloodline after last night on Friday Night SmackDown. Tag team match. That don't even make sense. Rock and Reigns against Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes is being teased for night 1 of WrestleMania. Speculation has been that WWE could do this tag team match on night 1, with night 2 featuring Rhodes and Reigns, although none of that tag team match idea is confirmed. The Rock was receiving a lot of backlash amongst fans following the news on SmackDown that Rhodes will be getting an opportunity to finish his story with Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40 this year. This was when the pivot happened from a booking standpoint. Now, this is coming from The Observer, and Dave Meltzer reported that The Rock was said to have quickly changed his pitch for the match with Reigns because of the backlash and wanted to go heel as he felt the booing can be explained as him playing a heel wrestler, and he's even said he is very happy to do that. Great! Great. Does he really believe that? Or does he really want the match with Roman Reigns? Because I am under the impression that if nobody said a fucking word about Cody Rhodes getting screwed this year, that we'd still be getting Rock and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40 and not potentially at WrestleMania 41. They would have not changed plans if nobody made a big stink about Cody Rhodes. And that's just God to honest fact. They wouldn't have pivoted, they wouldn't have changed plans, and what you would have gotten was a boring WrestleMania main event that would have been all hype and no substance. Meltzer says this: a few people have said that the heel turn was necessary for The Rock due to the backlash and bad publicity he got from the Black Adam debacle and Young Rock being canceled, so the decision was made that it wasn't good for Rock to be booed heavily as a babyface. There is said to be far more behind the scenes that hasn't come out, given the timing, and can't be talked about right now. But Johnson, over this past weekend, said it was best to be out of the Reigns match, Cody in, which by this point everyone conceded by then. It was Johnson who then pitched the heel turn, and he did pitch the idea of Rock and Reigns versus Rhodes and Rollins for night one, tag team match. So that was his idea, if that's how it turns out, end quote. Seems like Rock, with Black Adam, Young Rock, and everything else that's kind of gone down the fucking toilet as a failure recently in The Rock's career, now he wants to come on into WWE and legitimately make no sense of anything. Yet everybody is out there claiming that I'm the fucking conspiracy theorist, I hate The Rock, I don't want to have fun, JD is overanalyzing everything. What the fuck do you think a podcaster is supposed to do, man? A podcaster is supposed to create discussion. Podcasters are supposed to sit here like me, content creators are supposed to sit here like me, and make you guys think a little and move you away from the plain and simple feeble-minded narrative that's floating around there on social media. I mean, I got people, after last night's stream, I got people claiming that hand gestures that The Rock was doing last night, and The Rock was pointing at Roman Reigns, and all this other nonsense. I know, The Rock should be far away from this creative thing, if you ask me. Even she said so. Got people out there dissecting hand gestures and Rock pointing. Meanwhile, all I said was maybe a little nugget of an explanation for what Triple H said last week. Yet I'm the fucking bad guy. I don't understand it. I don't really get this community, to be quite honest. Everybody wants to come up with their fucking theories, yet all I asked for was a fucking explanation. Something. We didn't get it from Cody. We didn't get it from Rock. When are we gonna get it? Before you know it, WrestleMania is gonna be here. What are we doing? You can't go on like that, man. You can't do it. This tag team match doesn't make sense either. For everybody claiming they want to see this fucking tag team match in the main event of night one. Why are you having Seth Rollins wrestle twice? Coming off an injury. He's not even cleared yet. Yeah, let's put him in 2 matches WrestleMania weekend. Guy can't even fucking walk right. You want to put him in 2 matches? Cody and Rollins versus Rock and Roman. Who loses? Is Cody gonna lose? He's the only one there that's not the other 3. Rollins can't lose. He's got a championship match, presumably, if they do that match on night one. Presumably against the winner of the Elimination Chamber. He can't take a pinfall. Roman's not taking a pinfall. And The Rock. Well, they're gonna beat The Rock in his first match back in 10 fucking years? Cody seems like the odd man out there. And why would you want to have Cody and Roman in the same ring together before their main event on night 3? He's fucking great. Everybody's great. Oh, JD doesn't know anything. I mean, every fucking thing I bring you is logic. It makes sense. I don't say shit for the sake of being cool. Why does it need to happen? The why is the most important thing in any story you're telling. You know how many whys we got answered so far? 0. The only thing that was answered was, well, why is Rock going heel now? Because his ego was so inflated, and he didn't want babyface Rock to be booed out of the fucking building, and he didn't want the perception of people don't want me. How could they not want me? I'm the fucking people's champion. But they want Cody Rhodes. I don't know, Rock. You've been away for how fucking long? Cody Rhodes has been here telling this story for the past 2 fucking years. Yet you just want to slide on in there because you're the bigger celebrity. Give me a fucking break. You may have everybody fucking fooled. Your promo last night might have everybody fucking fooled. Your Versace vest may have everybody fucking fooled. Your coolness and fucking bloodline symbols and all this other fucking bullshit that people are dissecting may have everybody fooled. Not me. Not me. You gotta do better. All I asked for was a simple explanation. We know why Rock went heel. Because his ego couldn't handle being booed. That's why. He went heel when he didn't want to go heel. He went heel because it was a necessity to get Cody back in the story to make it make a little bit of sense. But that's not what The Rock originally wanted. He wanted to blow the whole fucking show up. But you know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter now. We got the match we wanted, and we're moving forward with Cody and Roman. It doesn't matter right now, right? Let's go on the ride and enjoy the unpredictability, even though all the potholes are landing my Mustang with fucking tens upon thousands of dollars of damage. Shifting gears to the other championship match. Drew McIntyre. What's going on with him? First of all, he's got to win the chamber. Everybody wants him to win the chamber, but realistically, Drew McIntyre is one of the odds-on favorites. McIntyre could win it. LA Knight could win it. Randy Orton could win it. I don't see anybody else in that match winning it. But those are the 3 guys right now, with McIntyre being 1, I would say Orton being number 2, and LA Knight being a dark horse at number 3. Now, Logan Paul is in this thing as well. Logan Paul is the United States champion. I would think that his match would be born, his WrestleMania match would be born in that chamber, whether LA Knight pins him or Kevin Owens pins him. I think whatever happens in that chamber is going to give us Logan Paul's opponent for WrestleMania. Now, the rumor was LA Knight. Is that still in the cards? Or are we going to do Kevin Owens versus Logan Paul again in a rematch where Kevin Owens wins the United States Championship from Logan Paul at WrestleMania? I would like to see LA Knight in that spot, but I'm not taking this opportunity away from LA Knight potentially as well to win the chamber and wrestle for the World Heavyweight Championship. But then what do you do with Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania? McIntyre and Sami Zayn could be a match. LA Knight versus Seth Rollins. What do you do with Randy Orton? There's a lot that still needs to be answered. A lot more questions than answers. But I think Drew McIntyre makes the most sense here. And maybe if they continue to tell that story with Sami Zayn, maybe we get a 3-way out of it for the World Heavyweight Championship. But this is coming from Fightful Select. Fightful Select reported that Drew McIntyre's WWE deal was up ahead of WrestleMania 40 and that Drew was operating on the possibility that 2023 could be his last WrestleMania. That will not be the case. WWE sources have confirmed the obvious, that he's scheduled for WrestleMania. Fightful Select has confirmed that McIntyre's deal now extends past WrestleMania and that some injury and inactivity time was added to the deal in order to get it there. Sources near McIntyre claim that there have been conversations between WWE and McIntyre, and it appears as if they want to get a deal done. Duh. However, they also claim that one isn't done, in place, and nothing has changed on that front. WWE sources indicated that McIntyre was well respected in the company both by talent and staff for his work, as well as media and community event schedule, end quote. This is going to be a very interesting situation because more times than not, WWE is not going to reward somebody by winning the Elimination Chamber and putting them in a championship match at WrestleMania if they have not signed a new WWE contract. They may go with a Randy Orton or an LA Knight in this instance and change plans completely. But who makes the most sense? The guy that has a contract coming up that hasn't signed a new deal yet. Drew McIntyre makes the most sense. It's going to be very interesting to see what McIntyre does from this point out and what WWE does next Saturday. That men's chamber match is fucking stacked. It's unpredictable, and it's going to be something that is going to go down for the ages. To me, I think it's one of the more loaded Elimination Chamber matches that we've ever seen. I'm still going with Drew. I think we worry about the contract situation after his WrestleMania match with Seth Rollins. And finally, guys, we are going to get into Cody and Seth Rollins here. This plays into Drew McIntyre. If you guys watched SmackDown last night, this also plays into potentially Roman and The Rock. They're not really advertised for the show. I know Australia wanted Roman and Rock on the show. They have not been announced yet. But Cody and Seth Rollins do have plans for the Chamber. They're not wrestling, but they will be on the Grayson Waller effect. They will be talking about their road to WrestleMania. So who knows what may be born out of that. We may get Rock, we may get Roman, we may get some sort of explanation on Saturday next week. We'll have to wait and see. I'm not holding my breath because up until this point we've gotten zero. But Grayson Waller released a video on social media announcing what Reigns and Rollins will be doing at the Elimination Chamber. He says this, and I quote, "Is anyone else as sick and tired of hearing about these stories as I am? Like this one, for example. Imagine getting slapped by your boss in front of thousands of people, millions online, and doing nothing about it. Haha. Couldn't be me. Hold me back, hold me back. Who am I to judge?" You know, I did mention that on the SmackDown post-show last night as well. Cody wanted so badly to go slap The Rock, he knew where he was last night. Where the fuck was he? He didn't show up. Nobody mentioned that at all either. Who am I to judge, says Grayson Waller. Because right now, it's the biggest thing in entertainment, and it got me thinking that since I'm basically the Prime Minister of Australia, I needed to give something back to the Australian people and bring the biggest story in entertainment to my house. Of this stadium, to Perth. The Elimination Chamber in Australia. So before they have to start worrying about finishing stories or worrying about The Rock or the Tribal Chief, acknowledge, by the way, let's take some stress off of these guys' shoulders and give them a gift. Something that everyone wants, but not everyone gets, the Grayson Waller rub. So Australia, get ready for the biggest Grayson Waller effect in history with my guests, the World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins, and the winner of the 2024 Royal Rumble, Cody Rhodes. See you there, mates. We may get some explanation. If there's one guy on this roster right now that's going to poke the bear and maybe get some sort of answer out of Cody Rhodes, maybe we get Roman, maybe we get Rock. We don't know yet, but poke the bear and get some answers out of Cody Rhodes. It will be Grayson Waller. So the last time we saw Grayson Waller mix it up with guys of this level, it was John Cena at Money in the Bank. Now we got him in the ring with mostly the WrestleMania main event. And Rock and Roman, I'm sure, are going to be there. Do they come out? I don't know. That's anybody's guess, but I think that should be a very entertaining segment, and hopefully it yields some explanation for what has happened thus far. Explanation that matches out of Cody Rhodes. It will be Grayson Waller. So the last time we saw Grayson Waller mix it up with guys of this level, it was John Cena at Money in the Bank. Now we got him in the ring with mostly the WrestleMania main event. And Rock and Roman, I'm sure, are going to be there. Do they come out? I don't know. That's anybody's guess, but I think that should be a very entertaining segment, and hopefully it yields some explanation for what has happened thus far. Explanation that we have not been given yet since Cody gave up his WrestleMania spot to The Rock several weeks ago on Friday Night SmackDown. So I'm looking forward to that, but listen, we are going to have a good time on the road to WrestleMania. I'm only here to call out the shit that we're not getting, the shit that we're not hearing, why things don't make sense. You all know why things don't make sense. You all know that it doesn't make sense. Stop being blinded. I loved The Rock's canter and demeanor last night. I thought it was great. This Rock is better than whatever version of The Rock we were going to get. If it was going to be heel Roman and babyface Rock going into this year's WrestleMania. I also don't think, with all the hand gestures people are making out of nothing, I don't know why everybody wants Roman to turn on The Rock, or Rock rather, to turn on Roman, betray Roman, be in the bloodline for about a month and a half, help Cody win the championship as if this is one big fucking cover-up, and then go and start a feud with Roman Reigns there. Why are you going to start a feud with Roman Reigns at WrestleMania? Who knows when The Rock is going to be back on television? If The Rock is here for the long haul, great. If he's going to build to this, he should be here regularly or semi-regularly. But why would you take him out of the bloodline so soon when the money is in him being in the bloodline, and then developing a story with him in the bloodline, only to break them away and then tell story of Roman and Rock leading into next year's WrestleMania. There's a lot of mileage that they could get out of Roman and Rock being paired on television. There's a lot of money in that. Why are you just going to blow it and give it all away because it's a cover-up? The fans want to book some fantasy cover-up here where Rock turns on Roman and helps Cody win the championship. That doesn't make it any more logical. That doesn't make it make any more sense. It doesn't. What about the Triple H aspect? What about the power struggle? There's just too much there to be giving away because you want Rock to turn on Roman and hook Cody. I don't see it. I think that's the worst direction, honestly. Then why does he have Seth Rollins befriending him? Why does he have Rollins as a backup? I don't know. Again, time will tell. I'm here for it. I love the unpredictability. I just want fucking some explanation along the way. That's all I'm asking for. Thank you guys very much for all your support. If you enjoyed today's video, please make sure you hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button down below, turn on the bell for notifications. We'll have more extra tomorrow as well. We got a big story on Impact TNA.
I can do this.
Reigns in the ring. We got apparently a special segment with him and The Rock tonight because they said they were both be on SmackDown. This promo is completely flawed from The Rock. You have on one hand him saying that Cody doesn't deserve his rematch with Roman at WrestleMania. Well, let's just set the scene. Rock comes out and he moves very slowly to the ring because that's what everybody in the WWE does this day. You know what I'm saying? They walk very slowly, a 4 to 5 minute walk to the ring. Gets in there, and I honestly expected him to do more like shooting at Triple H, or I don't know, just I wanted there to be a little bit more substance in that, because I don't really know what should happen, to be honest. I don't really know what the point of that was, because there was nothing that The Rock said that we didn't already know, and then he tried to like change history a bit, because he comes out and he talks to Roman and us, I guess, mostly by saying, hey, you know, The Rock is in town, and listen up, all you Mormon inbreds. You don't get to do the sing-along with The Rock. Y'all need to shut up and sit down because you and your 600 kids are going to experience great. And instead of, like, going from that into, well, you know, last week, the guy that thinks he really runs the show wanted to tell you guys he's in charge, but let's just take a look at 3 letters that mean more than the WWE, and he like TKO or something, right? That would have been fine. So then, instead of doing that, he goes on this diatribe of sorts to tell everybody in the stands, and I guess at home, that everyone ruined the opportunity for him versus Roman Reigns. The biggest main event in all WrestleMania history, all because everyone's a bunch of crybabies. And again, I don't really know. This was something we already knew. You know what I'm saying? Y'all think that was the best Rock promo in a while? I thought it was a good promo. I wanted a little more out of it. So Rock then continues just berating the religion of I don't know, is Mormonism a religion? I don't know. But just continues berating all Mormons around the world, and then goes into, I guess, what the whole point of the press, or the whole point of the deal was, which was to tell everybody that the bloodline was there to stay, and he and Roman were the biggest main event. But the biggest part of this, like I said, the entire promo, he calls Cody's logic flawed for getting his rematch versus Roman. And someone said this in chat, and I think this might be the way they're trying to paint this, or maybe it's just a potential idea that they are maybe stumbling upon, is that Rock painting himself, or painting The Rock, I guess, as a completely tone-deaf character, is that everything he says makes no sense at all, but it's because he has no idea what's going on with the WWE. It would make sense to do that with Rock, to just be like, well, whatever happened doesn't really matter because I run things. But the problem is, The Rock does know how the WWE works. He was a part. crowd, but maybe this is again their way of spinning this into Rock is the speaker and head of the bloodline. Maybe this can be traced all the way back to the Nation of Domination when Rock started taking over and speaking for the entire group. I don't know. You don't see any dissension right now. He put over Roman and said, my cousin whipped his ass last year, so why are we even doing this again? But I wanted to either see Rock pull rank on Triple H and be like, listen, it's cool that Triple H said that last week, but just like our entire career, I'm always one step ahead. And, you know, talk about some of the TKO stuff or whatever. And make this back and forth continue to go on, but he kind of just accepted it there and was like, well, Cody's the main event, yada yada, but we're still the bloodline. And it doesn't make sense. I don't know. I was a little confused at the end there. And a lot of people, like in my chat here, a lot of people are talking about the potential Avengers Endgame booking of WrestleMania, where the entirety of the bloodline potentially gets involved, and the entirety of the main event guys from the WWE with Seth and Cody, and some in the past as well, probably like maybe a Stone Cold Steve Austin could come in at the end, like just mounds and mounds and mounds of people. Triple H is not going to be one of them because of his heart condition, but just throwing everything at this main event that they're going to get again. We don't even know what it's going to look like. Are they going to do a tag team on night one? They're moving this story along very slowly, which I am actually a fan of. I like a little bit of a slower pacing when you're doing this stuff, because you don't want to give them too much too early. Give them, meaning the fans, too much too early, like us, and then we'll quit fantasy. You know what I'm saying? We won't start fantasy, but we'll quit. We're like, oh, okay. But now it's just more talk. What's going to happen? What is this? So I think that we still have, and I saw Roman coming into the venue saying, hey, let's go fix everything Jay screwed up. There's just a lot, dude. There's a lot. But long story short, Rock came out, I would say out of 10, I would give it a 6 or 7. Like, it was good. Not the best Rock I think we're going to get, but that's his first time kind of back in front of the people, in the ring, cutting the promo in a heel sense. Like, he kind of wasn't obviously a heel versus gender in that promo, but in a heel sense, getting back into the flow, and I think he's just going to get stronger as it goes. Well, there was The Rock's return promo as a new member of the bloodline, even though he shot the finger guns up versus just the one. He's got to work on that. But what happens next for The Rock? What happens next for the bloodline, WWE? We'll find out Monday, but for now, I guess we'll find out.
What is going on, guys? It is WrestleMania here, back with another video. Things are really heating up after the WrestleMania press conference as Triple H plans to address the fallout from Thursday's event. So join us now as we look at this week's edition of SmackDown, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including The Rock signaled that he will betray Roman Reigns, 2 massive bouts planned for WrestleMania, an NXT superstar injured again, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new videos on WrestleMania Shorts. They are a little shorter, but packed with detail. But as always, we won't recap the matches, but just look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. As always, we start off with the good as number 1, The Rock joins the bloodline. Now, The Rock is back, but he quickly made it clear that he has no use for the fans, largely because they ruined the match of the century by asking for Cody versus Roman, rather than the better choice, The Rock versus Roman Reigns. This segment was all about 2 things: making sure the fans know that The Rock is heel, and solidifying his spot in the bloodline. We also love the fact that The Rock was kind of meshing in 2 eras together with his look. The $500 shirts, but in the Hollywood Rock style waistcoat. Knowing the prices now, those $500 shirts must be $5,000 shirts by now. While some fans were upset that the WWE didn't set up the expected Cody Seth versus Rock and Roman match at WrestleMania, there's plenty of time to do this, and the WWE isn't rushing a storyline this epic. Number 2, more good Elimination Chamber qualifiers. The SmackDown featured more magnificent Elimination Chamber qualifier matches. While Logan Paul, Naomi, and Tiffany Stratton's win were foregone conclusions, the matches were still very entertaining. Both the Elimination Chamber matches looked to be pure gold. Number 3, did Logan Paul just wrestle on TV? Who was the blonde guy wrestling The Miz on SmackDown last night, and what was he doing with the US Championship? Oh wait, that was actually Logan Paul, the WWE's resident celebrity champion, making sparse appearances here and there. Now many people have remarked at how quickly Paul has mastered the grappling game with his in-ring work. He's also shown it in another way by upstaging Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar in the art of rare appearances and even rarer title defenses. But all kidding aside, Paul may not show up often, but when he does, he over-delivers, as seen by his trash talk and his match against The Miz. Number 4, LA Knight roasts Drew McIntyre. But speaking of trash talk, kudos to LA Knight for roasting Drew McIntyre backstage. Drew's smarmy heel act is nothing short of brilliant. Nonetheless, every good heel needs a good moment of comeuppance, and LA Knight served up some humble pie to Drew last night when he noted Drew hasn't held a title since Knight's arrival. Knight dug the knife in deeper when he told Drew there's room on his CM Punk WrestleMania tombstone shirt for his name DM Punk. It'll be interesting to see how things play out between Drew and LA Knight in the coming weeks. Number 5, Dakota Kai is on her own. Bayley is no dummy. While the role model is back to being a babyface, she hasn't suffered the massive IQ drop that often comes when heels revert to babyfaces. Though Dakota Kai may have had a big target on her back thanks to her helping Bayley against Damage Control, but Bayley has been around the block enough times to know whom to trust. Number 6, more R-Truth goodness. R-Truth is the wrestling equivalent of MSG. Now we're not talking about Madison Square Garden, but monosodium glutamate. Sprinkle some on, and he makes any segment just that much better. Last night, Dominic Mysterio foolishly asked Truth for help during Dirty Dom's match against Kevin Owens, telling the 9,234th time 24/7 champion to get him a chair. Truth simply complied, only to take the chair and just sit on it. Simple, yet gold. And Bron Breakker joins the Blue Brand. Now, the Blue Brand just got a huge addition in the form of Bron Breakker. The former NXT champion and current NXT Tag Team champion announced that he's now signed with SmackDown. Fans have been waiting for Breakker to join the main roster for over a year, and it's going to be interesting to see how he's used. He's a tremendous competitor with a proven pedigree, but he'll need a good storyline and opponent to carve out a spot on SmackDown, a roster that seems to expand weekly. That was the good, what about the bad? As number 1, AJ Styles' storyline is meaningless. AJ Styles is mad as hell, and he's not going to take it anymore, not from other WWE superstars, and not even from his teammates in the OC. Unfortunately, this is anything but high-stakes drama, as the OC have been completely devalued since their latest return. Gallows and Anderson compete on NXT, while Mitchell wins as many matches as Zelina Vega. No offense to Zelina Vega, but is the WWE Universe supposed to get invested in this storyline when there are so many other more interesting plots on the Blue Brand? An AOP squash match spin cycle. As good as it is to see the AOP back in WWE, we hope that they don't get stuck in the squash match spin cycle where they beat up local talent or NXT undercard wrestlers every week but fail to get any further. Hopefully this is just a one and done squash match. As nothing ugly as a proper build-up for Elimination Chamber, and the WWE also furthered the White Hot Rock storyline. What do you guys think of SmackDown this week? Let us know in the comments down below. Now let's move on to the news. Our first story looks at The Rock signaling he will betray Roman Reigns. Here's why. On top of today's news is The Rock's return to SmackDown and the fallout from him joining the Bloodline, particularly a fan theory that The Rock is setting Roman Reigns up for a fall. It's been said that pride goes before a fall, and Roman Reigns' hubris has taken on mythological levels, just in time for someone to knock him off his mountain. While Cody Rhodes will be the man who finishes the story, The Rock and Roman will only be starting their saga. Ex-user Jimmy Van took a look at a trail end of The Rock's promo, commenting, "I rewatched Rock's promo. Look at the camera work when he says he'll do everything to make sure you walk out a loser." Looks like he's pointing at Roman. Oh yeah, Rock is a double agent on this one. While some people have a tendency to look too much into things, especially with WWE, which has traditionally been as subtle as a sledgehammer to the skull with his storytelling, the WWE has improved its storytelling ever since Triple H became Chief Content Officer. You may recall WWE hired someone to serve as its too much into things, especially with WWE, which has traditionally been as subtle as a sledgehammer to the skull with his storytelling. The WWE has improved its storytelling ever since Triple H became Chief Content Officer. You may recall WWE hired someone to serve as its continuity chief to make sure that storylines actually make sense as they develop over time. This was seen with the late great Bray Wyatt's return to the WWE with its meticulous White Rabbit storyline. It's clear that there's more to The Rock's return than just spoiling Cody Rhodes' WrestleMania dream. The beauty of this storyline is that fans just don't know whether The Rock plans to help Cody or hurt him. What is clear is that a showdown is coming between The Rock and Roman. How it plays out remains a mystery, and this should make for some of the best wrestling TV in years. Another potential clue that fans have noticed is when the Bloodline raise their finger up in the 1 sign, The Rock's sign is much different. His finger and thumb are extended in an L. No, he's not part of the Shoguns, but this is a sign that The Rock is the real head of the table. After all, The Rock is the biggest member of the Bloodline. His success is tenfold compared to any others of the Bloodline. Does this show that The Rock's ego is bigger and he's in it for himself? What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, 2 big bouts planned for WrestleMania. It looks like fans could see 2 major matches at WrestleMania 40 besides the much anticipated Cody Rhodes vs Roman Reigns matchup. Fightful select Sean Ross Sapp was asked about the long-rumored Jey vs Jimmy Uso match at WrestleMania, and Sapp answered, "That was the plan to the best of my knowledge." The WWE's done an impressive job maintaining the heat between Jey and Jimmy without it boiling over before their first one-on-one matchup. Many fans doubted if the WWE could keep them apart between SummerSlam, but they've allowed just enough interaction to remind the fans a confrontation is inevitable without cooling things off. Maybe they did spoil it a little at the Royal Rumble, but that was only just a brief tussle. Don't be surprised if Jimmy cost Jey his Intercontinental Championship shot against Gunther, leading to a clash at WrestleMania. There's also another matchup being discussed, but this one is still up in the air. Fightful Sean Ross Sapp also discussed Logan Paul's opponent at WrestleMania 40, noting LA Knight's name has been discussed. That was the plan. I don't still know if it is the plan, but that was discussed at one point. Right now it looks like the WWE is setting things up for a program between Drew McIntyre and LA Knight. Whether that happens immediately or down the road remains to be seen, as the 2 superstars are on separate brands. As for LA Knight versus Logan Paul, this would make for a fantastic match at WrestleMania, as fans could expect some great promo battles leading up to the match. This could be the WWE's chance to put championship gold around LA's waist and give the US Championship back to a full-time competitor. While we understand the WWE wants the belt on Paul right now to draw in even more mainstream publicity going into Mania, Paul won't win the title after the WWE Showcase event. Next up, an AEW star returning soon. There's potential good news for AEW as Dave Meltzer reports that Dr. Britt Baker has been training hard. Although she isn't cleared for wrestling, Meltzer reports her return shouldn't be long. Baker has been off AEW TV for some time, and for whatever reason, AEW hasn't been used there to cut promos to help others get over. AEW's women's division is mediocre at best and a mess at worst. Hopefully she'll be back soon, and while she isn't carrying the division on her back, the recent addition of Deonna Purrazzo and the rumored debut of Sasha Banks should help very much. While former AEW Women's Champion Jamie Hayter's return date remains a mystery, her return can't come sooner enough. And finally, an NXT superstar injured again. And last but not least, apparently bad news for NXT superstar Nikita Lyons, as Dave Meltzer is reporting she is injured again. Lyons has been repeatedly bitten by the injury bug, with her previous injury being an ACL tear that kept her out of action for nearly a year. Hopefully the WWE can determine what's going on and get Lyons back into competitive shape. While she has plenty of talent, the WWE might be reluctant to give her a push if they feel she's injury prone and looking at her time in NXT. It's difficult to say she's not. But there you have it, folks, our look at SmackDown, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.
Be careful, Cassiga.
Possible. A Talking Smack is a show where character development
about to get good when The Rock turns heel and starts saying he's about to slap herpes off your face. Herpes, if you smile! The Rock promo was really entertaining, but is he truly a heel? I've seen a lot of people saying he pointed at Roman Reigns when he said, "I'll do anything in my power to make sure that you walk out WrestleMania as what you are," which is a loser. Could be just a reach, maybe has nothing to do with him turning on Roman. Also, when everybody put their fingers up, The Rock did it a bit differently. As in, loser? What does that even mean? L? The Rock is gonna give you an L. I kinda hope it's not the case. I'm enjoying this way too much, but I am a little suspicious too, because it almost seemed like The Rock is making a parody out of this heel character. Don't get me wrong, it was fine, but I feel like at points it wasn't really that believable. Even after the show, he was acting like a heel, but then smiling about it. It could be just The Rock enjoying the ride in the WWE. That's entirely possible. I think he's having a lot of fun. I'm mad, still getting goosebumps, but it is a little bit suspicious. You know? I enjoy The Rock talking about smelly asses, penises, airwax, and you know, smelly toenails that go up to your butt. He completely destroys the audience. I feel like this segment was great. Although I also kind of feel like we didn't get many answers. It didn't really progress anything, but now we know for sure that The Rock is a heel, I guess. So let me know in the comments below. Do you believe that The Rock is actually a heel, or he's just playing with Roman Reigns right here? It does feel like you guys are all fat, because that's what The Rock said. Crazy guys, right? Look at these beautiful fat guys right here, but you guys actually So let's talk about Friday Night SmackDown, but before that, a word from our sponsor. This video is sponsored by Wrestling GM, where you can actually prove that you can book it better. Wrestling GM is the best wrestling simulation game in the world. The only game where you control and create all the outcomes within the game. I also played this game before on my channel. The playlist of Wrestling GM series is in the description below. Wrestling GM is available on all iOS and Android devices, and there's a link to download the game in the description below. Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. My name is The Great One. How are you guys doing today? Cody's story is big. I get it. There's a bigger story going around. There's a bigger story going around, and it's me finishing my story, which is 500,000 subscribers. So if you haven't already, make sure to click that subscribe button, make sure to turn notifications on, make sure this Lithuanian redneck achieves the impossible. Realistically, it should be but to be honest, like this channel ain't getting any. And also smash the like button. You guys know that one brings you benefits. The Rock arrives to SmackDown in his truck, and we jump straight into a qualifier match. Kevin Owens versus Dominic Mysterio. WWE did this whole Dominic Mysterio is getting booed. He's saying a lot of shit like, the Judgment Day will retain, I'm gonna win, and the crowd boos because they hate Dominic Mysterio. I heard Dominic was supposed to face Brock Lesnar at Elimination, so wow, what a missed opportunity for Dominic. Well, anyway, we got the match. We also got R-Truth. This was a little unpredictable in my opinion, because I feel like Dominic Mysterio should be on the show in Australia, just because WWE would probably want to capitalize on a lot of people booing Dominic in a stadium. So I was really surprised by the result. And now we got R-Truth, and it was like, okay, R-Truth, you can't be that stupid. You cannot be that stupid. And he's not. He sits on a chair instead when Dominic asks for his steel chair, and Kevin Owens wins. The match goes to Elimination Chamber. So I'm really surprised that Dominic Mysterio is not gonna be at Elimination Chamber, but possibly during Rhea's match, because I feel like WWE would want this, right? I also feel like R-Truth needs to help with this. Drew McIntyre got a backstage interview. He says he needs to win the match, and we see LA Knight. You wanna talk about your WrestleMania moment being stolen? I'll steal a moment from you once again. So we got this back and forth. We got some officials, and it seems like next week we're getting a match between Drew McIntyre and LA Knight. It's one of these rare scenarios where a brand split is not that big of a deal, but like right now we're just breaking all the Am I fun, right? You're breaking the rules, Debbie. Also, there's no way we're going to get a clean finish, right? There's no way Drew is losing, there's no way LA Knight is losing. These two got a new tag team name, New Catch Republic, I believe. I think so, I could be wrong. We see Dominic says, you're going to lose against the Judgment Day. How about we face you in a match? Team up with R-Truth. He's not a part of the team. Bad day for Dominic Mysterio is what it was. We saw another qualifying match, Tiffany Stratton versus Zelina Vega. This one seemed obvious. I feel like we all knew who was gonna win this one. And of course it was Tiffany Stratton, who really looks like a star lately. Emo face AJ Styles is sitting in a... Cole says AJ clearly forgot what he came from, and he got slapped by AJ Styles. Gallows calms Anderson down, and it seems like AJ is leaving the faction. This has been going on for quite a few weeks now, and you guys know my opinion. I always felt like AJ Styles was better on the show. The authors of Fame featured a couple of NXT talents who didn't even get an entrance. We kinda know the result. Logan Paul says he's going to become a double champion at WrestleMania as we get The Miz versus Logan Paul. So this was a decent match, although Logan Paul made a couple of mistakes, a couple of botches, which is understandable, not gonna blame him. I mean, the guy already proved himself, a couple of botches ain't gonna change that, right? It's pretty understandable why. This is a SmackDown, match doesn't matter that much, but this was possibly the weakest Logan Paul's match in the WWE. Not to say that it was a bad match, other matches were just so damn good, There's nothing I want to complain about the brass knuckles. I think we've seen enough of it. I really think so, and also the fact that he beat The Miz with a punch. That is finish? Man, I know what WWE are trying to do. He has a medal in his hand. No. When you have a punch as your finisher, you should only do your finisher. Every time you punch someone, that should be a finisher. So I hate that idea. When the Big Show is, well, when he's doing, you know, when the Big Show, his fist is like my head. So when he does that, I can kinda believe. But Logan Paul, nah, we ain't doing that shit. Boy, get a finisher. So yeah, Logan Paul is going to be in the Elimination Chamber match, which is honestly really exciting. This is a great addition. I think it was necessary. We got some girl drama, and it seems like Nick Aldis wants to get some superstars on SmackDown. Turns out it's Braun Breaker who really got a big crowd reaction, looked like a star. He's officially on SmackDown, our next face of the company possibly. I think this is a big deal. Naomi got a brand new theme song, which is kind of catchy anyway. I think it's pretty good. She faced Alba Fire. This was a qualifier match, and again, very expected, very predictable. Naomi takes the W. Great for Naomi. Came back to WWE, already getting some opportunities. Going to get a big crowd reaction in Australia, I believe. So Dakota wants to be friends again with Bayley, I guess. That's a way to put it. And Bayley, you know, doesn't really trust her anymore. And again, she shouldn't be. It seems like Bayley is really smart when it comes to this story because she saw it coming, just like us. She watches television, right? Really? Yes. And even the last week we saw Dakota helping Bayley, Dakota didn't hit anyone. So it could be planned. So Bayley probably sees that this could be just, you know, a swerve. Of course, the main segment of the
Never have reached me, let it Hawaii, can't some
Tonight we see Roman Reigns.
Am I still creeps me out? Ichiban knows the follow.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
As I said, you have the most reliable. Oh yeah.
He tells the people to acknowledge him. He calls the crowd idiots. Individually, you may be smart. But when you get together like this, you're pretty dumb. Everything we say has meaning, it has purpose. It is information that you need to understand. He talked about Cody and says tonight we fix it. And he announced that The Rock is a member of the Bloodline. We see The Rock crowd goes nuts. My man came out in a $5,000 shirt again. It's a different one, but you get the idea. That was The Rock's thing back in like 20 years ago. Now more like 25. So my man looks like an asshole, and it's really hard to buy into this because, you know, it seems like it almost came out of nowhere. The Rock shared some good news. This is a sellout. And then he says you broke the record for the largest gathering of trailer park trash. Finally! Your life has meaning. And they will all go home with a story to tell their large families, having looked at the greatness in the flesh. He says he's finally come back to Salt Lake City, and there's a new side of The Rock for fans to see. He says that side of him